Boom. What's up, metalheads, freaks, and geeks? What's going on, man? Ian Luckett's in the house.
Yeah.
What's going on, man? Let me see if I gotta set this up here. Hang on. Yeah, echo cancellation is off. I noticed that. Yeah, boom. I noticed that when I talk in a voice, like I'm talking right now, and I have the echo cancellation on, okay, I sound good in here. But then when it goes live on YouTube after we shut the show down, my voice goes exponentially higher, and I have to actually turn down my volume. Normally, I keep my. Whoa, I'm at 100% right now. Well, that's just because. Well, that has no effect. Okay. So, yeah, what I was saying is that with my Tascam, I don't know if it's the Tascam interface, the way that it's recorded, and then when it filters out after the show gets processed by YouTube, man, it jacks my volume up to where it would have been if I didn't have echo cancellation on. So even though I sound warm and mellow and cute and fuzzy over here, and I sound nice and level, when the video processes finally and everybody else gets to see it on YouTube, my voice seems to be booming for some reason. And I don't know if you ever noticed that, but if you check some of the videos that I've done, you'll see that my voice is really elevated. So you don't have to turn your desktop speakers up much after the video processes and whatnot. But I noticed that I have to turn my volume down, because if I have my normal setting, which is like between 1 and 100, I keep my volume usually at 30 on my desktop speakers. Okay. During the show and when I'm listening to music and hearing other people talk, cool. But then after we're done recording and blah blah blah, and then we go and I don't do anything post to the video except for let it close out the link, let the YouTube know the show is over, boom boom boom, close everything out, come back up, and then when I get replay on it, boom, I'm just like heavier for some reason with echo cancellation. So I'm really trying to figure that out, man.
I don't know why echo cancellation would do that unless it's limiting the signal when it's active, and when it's off, it won't limit the signal anymore.
Yeah, now see, you're lower than you were before. Now that we're live.
Yeah, because I haven't touched a thing. So, and it's still peaking. If I turn that up, it's almost fully maxed out. So,
all right, we'll keep.
So that's one up there. Yeah, is that better?
Well, basically, I'm going by what I hear myself in my own cans. If I turn it up, I go up and then you go up. But I think I go up way too much.
Right. But so at the moment, what I've got is I've got signal coming through virtually everything I say. So at this level, if I say anything really loud, it's going to peak. Okay. And at that level, it should be okay even if I raise my voice.
Yeah.
But you might be hearing it a little bit lower. I'm not sure, because your headphones seem, when we were doing the tests, they seem to be somehow, it seems something is affecting the volume of them.
Yeah. Well, that was with when we were doing the speaker test though. But right now, let me see. My gain's back at 2 o'clock where it was before, and my volume on my headphones is up to about maybe 1 o'clock, something like that.
Yeah. Well, you sound the same as you did in the tests offline. Okay. You sound the same in my headphones.
You're good. I can hear you, but I'm worried about how they're actually hearing you.
Yeah, Anthony's saying we're both the same. No, Anthony's saying we're both the same. Hi, Anthony. Hi, Preston. Hi, Andy and the Jammerman. And who else is Mark? Mark Dan is in as well. Yeah, they're all saying that they can hear it fine.
Cool.
Yeah, and Mark's saying it's compressing the stream. He's completely right. So it'll try and even out and balance our voices, and that will limit me if I try and talk loudly, or you if you talk loudly. So if we both talk together, you can't actually hear what either of you saying. Blah, 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 blah. Actually, that's not as bad as it was before, but I'm hearing it through StreamYards. So how does that feel when we both talk in the chat? If we're both talking at the same time, does it break up?
No, I hear you sound right now. Well, you sound the same level as I do in my earphones, because my Focusrite is saying this is the level I want you guys at. So that's cool. It's not like, I'm sure you could boost yours and I would hear you as loud as you are, as you want to make yourself. How you come across over there to them guys, I don't know.
Yeah.
But as long as you and I are like in simpatico, that's cool, man. We're listening.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah, apparently we are, so that's good. Hi, Mitch. Good to see you.
Cool. What's going on, people? Yeah, if there's anybody else live streaming right now, that it's not my intention to step on you or do anything else like that. I'm just testing out my gear and stuff. It's like an impromptu kind of thing, so I can get set up for tomorrow's show and whatnot. Because as a lot of you guys know, I've been getting new gear, testing new gear, and trying to get it to work correctly. And with the help of a few community members like Ian and Francis and Marshall and Mark over there in chat and stuff, we've been able to figure out a lot of problems, shortcut them, and figure out what is exactly needed to get this podcast of mine and this podcast of yours, because it's your show too, man, sounding good and really crystal clear, man. Awesome. Thanks, Lars. Appreciate it, man.
So can I also, as a complete twitching out of class here, I just got Hippie playing the guitar through a sim and loving it. So, you know.
Yeah. I tell you what, man, I was telling Ian, the Sims that I was playing through, although they're probably not the best of the best, I was able to cherish the tone a hell of a lot more than I would be on my Black Star over here. Not to say my Black Star is a POS, but it's a high grade beginner amp is what it is. It's the I got gas, I'm a new guy, I want to play guitar, it's big, it's got all these bells and whistles and buttons and things I can do with it. Let me get that and learn with that and stuff like that. But then as you get more, as you progress more as a guitar player, a tone junkie and all the other stuff, you realize what you got maybe just a little too thin. And me, you guys know, I'm like a doomer, heavy metal kind of Sabbath guy, Sleep, Bong Ripper, all that sludge doom stuff. I'm into that. So I need my amp to be able to do that, and it's just not doing it. So what I do, I went out and I bought myself an Orange, which does do it. It's a great pedal platform, solid state amp, CR125C or 120C. Great amp, 212. Great amp for pedal platforms and fuzz pedals. When I want to get rock and roll and I want to feel the stuff in my bones, that amp will push any fuzz pedal that I want it to, and it sounds great. Black Star, not so much. But today when... what was that program you were teaching
Amplitube.
me?
Amplitube. Yeah, the freeware version.
Yeah, Amplitube, the free version and stuff. It's a bargain basement program, but I'm sure it has a lot of bells and whistles if you want to pay the cash for it. But as a free app, what you get for me was a cut above what this amp can actually do. So am I a new fan of Sims? Maybe, maybe not. But the tone I was getting was making me feel good about playing my guitar, put it that way. It gave me a whole different tone, a type of tone that I've been looking for that my guitar and my amps were not giving me. And yeah, so this direction I'm taking with my channel, my music, well, not music yet, but my musical learning and whatnot, is really stepping up and stuff like that. So I feel that I'm in the right direction to feel good about picking up my guitar and grabbing it because I have a plethora of tones that I never had before, and a lot of that has to do with the, what do they call them, VSTs, or what do they call them, Ian?
Yeah, they're just sims, amp sims. But
Amp
you
sims.
can use that as a VST, which is basically when you plug it into a door, it acts like it's inside the door. It acts like it's a program within it. So you can plug that in and record, and use those settings to record. But I mean, you basically just found out what it's like to have a Marshall Plexi with, 4 mics, a collection of different spaces, different cabs, different speakers, different foot pedals, and the stuff that's free with it. Well, you go back to when Sabbath formed, they had less than that, way less.
Yeah.
They didn't have all that stuff, and this stuff is just there now for you. And as Mark said, you can get the tone without the volume being outrageous, so you don't need to push too much air to get it to sound sweet. And that's
I was barely digging in on the strings today, man.
Yeah,
I was just like, boom, just hitting a light power chord, letting it ring out, and I was like, holy shit, that sounds good. And if that's the kind of tone that I'm looking at with all these Sims and stuff, going through my ears and my monitors and stuff, man, it's just it's a different world, man. So
it sounded pretty good through the speakers, just through the microphone, because just through that it sounded pretty good. So I think you'll have a lot of fun with it. And the main thing is to get that feeling that says, I don't want to put this down just yet, I want to explore this a bit more. Hold that note for it, see whether I can make a cup of tea while it's still ringing, all that kind of, that's how that's how you get into it. And it's High Dojo of Tone, and thanks, Andy, I really appreciate that. So
boom. Let's see what we got in here. Well, it says we got 11 people. We got Anthony Leban, Mr. Ian Luckett, Mark Tanner, Preston Smith, what's going on, man? Mark Tanner, Andy Dion, the Jammer, man. What's up, bro? Mitch Amon, what's going on, Mitch? Boom, 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 boom. Lars Guitars. And that's all that's popping out at me right now, man. Dojo of Tone, what's going on, buddy? Glad you're here. Epiphonium, what's up? What's up? What's up? And Mike Jones, what's going on, man? I found the crate 212 outside my door near the dumpster. Looks like someone else went digital. Oh.
I was going to say, Mike, pick it up, take it in your house. It doesn't matter how many Sims you've got. There's something about a real amp that does make a difference, despite everything I've just said.
Yeah, I'm not going to give up on my Black Star. It always sounded thin to me and never gave me the type of metal tone that I wanted. And then when I figured out what it is I wanted to play on guitar and what kind of music that I felt that I wanted to learn, which turns out to be doom, sludge, desert rock kind of style, that type of tone, that's what I was looking for, man. And the Black Star just doesn't give it to me unless I find the right modeler to hook up to it, or the right type of pedal to put in front of it. But the amp itself, even with all the 6 different tube sets it offers me, like 6L6, the EL34s, EL84s, 6V6, KT88s, 6L6, and something else, the KT something, KT66, offers you those amp sim styles in that amp. It still seemed like it wasn't ballsy enough, or it was choked out too much. It was either getting choked out or it wasn't ballsy enough. So the tone just wasn't there for me, man. And then,
did you ever try it through a different speaker? Did you ever plug in a separate speaker, or a different cab?
My Black Star?
Yeah. Have you ever used it with just a different cab?
No.
I'd try it out and see, because sometimes it can just be the speaker cab not giving you shifting enough air. Sometimes it's that simple, but because I mean the Black Stars have got a good reputation for, as you say, for a mid-range kind of starting off kind of thing, a little bit higher than starting off, but they should be able to give you the tone you need. They really should. I mean, I've heard demos of them where they sound great. It's not really my kind of tone, but they sound good. But like I said to you, once you get the VSTs, put that one up for sale. keep the orange, lose the black star. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not a big Black Star fan, so
yeah. It was affordable. And like I said, it was affordable at the time. I mean, it was a $700 amp at the time, but I got it on a deal because I paid cash for it, and I was buying a whole bunch of other stuff with it when I bought it. But yeah, then I bought the foot switch for it that I never used. Brand spanking new foot switch. Plugged it in, seen if it works. Boom, boom, boom. Yep. Put it in the shelf. It's up on a corner. Never used. So yeah, it's like when we all start out something new, we have a lot of high expectations of where you want to go. And then when your expectations aren't met and you don't improve or get as well rounded as a musician or learn guitar as fast as you thought you would, here you are with all this thousands of dollars worth of gear, a couple grand worth of gear, not knowing how to use it, being all pissed off. It's like I said, I bought the Black Star like 5 years ago, but only for the past year or so have I been picking up the guitar on a daily basis and trying to make a decent go at it. Before that, they were more or less wall art and stuff like that. But for the past year and a half, I've been really trying to do things, and even slacking then, I still need to do more. I still need to get more involved in my own guitar playing and stuff. And I was talking to you today about some of my downfalls with learning guitars and stuff, and frustrations with it and stuff. But I think, like I said, when I told you, when I get that aha moment, I know it. I know I can play guitar. I can hit the songs. Getting them coordinated and getting them to sound good in my ear, I think, is the piece of candy that's going to turn me into a guitar player.
Yeah.
Because when it sounds good to me, I want to keep it sounding good, and I try to do my best to make that note ring out the way it should. I make it sound the way the song sounds, and it makes me feel good as a player and more inspired to continue to play and practice to get that much better and stuff. Before it's like, yeah, it sounds like shit, but I'm gonna muscle through it anyway. Boom, boom, boom.
The next step that every guitarist, I think very few people talk about the structure of how we tend to learn things because it changes for everybody. But one of the things I think you could probably do with is, like I said, about set the looper up and record just a 3 chords, just a 3-chord riff, anything, it doesn't really matter, and then just noodle over the top of it, and you'll begin to feel the spaces in the music. When you're playing a guitar on its own, you don't feel that straight away. That's what takes the rehearsal and the practice. And if you're getting put off by the lack of progress, shortcut it by halving the work you're doing and then go back and learn it later. It's not what any music teacher would ever tell you to do, and I would never tell a student to do it. But I think when you're learning for pleasure, it's kind of a different thing. So, set up a loop. You can do that in Amplitube. It's got a looper on it, so you can just record, then stop recording, and then set the loop length, and it'll just completely keep playing it all the time. So you get the same 3 chords over again, just like you were backing yourself up, and then just try fitting notes behind it and see what comes out of it with the tones that you're getting. You can even set one channel to play the rhythm with one tone and then have a different lead tone on it. And you can do that with the free version. And it's useful for keeping you inspired. It's useful for making you understand how music fits together. And that's the first step in how to make songs, how things fit together. Say hi to Rhodey and to Squire Telecaster. Hiya.
Look at this old fossil telling me, welcome to the 21st century.
I didn't think I'd say it since I'm like 3 months older than you, but
Yeah. I think Mark's the baby of us, isn't he?
I think he is, actually.
He's not 50, he's not 57 yet, right?
Not
When's
yet.
your birthday, Mark? My birthday's in June, man. I'll be 57 in June. Ian just turned 57.
Yeah, I just turned 57. On Monday. Feels about the same.
Yeah. Woo. Well, in case you guys haven't figured it out, maybe some of you have, some of you haven't. Maybe some of you heard the tonal difference and the sound difference. Maybe, hopefully, it's a better quality. The hippie all by himself downloaded the software, hooked everything up, got it working. Boom, heard myself through the Focusrite 4i4, and yeah, I thought it sounded good. So then to do the rest of it, to figure everything else out, so I made sure I didn't blow anything up or burn the damn interface down. I invited Ian to come on and give me some of his knowledge about how to hook up speakers, make sure everything's working, trying to figure out the software, the lines in, the lines out, the phantom power, all the other stuff, hooking this up and hooking that up, making sure that I didn't plug something in the wrong hole that would cause something to go bzzz, and then really piss me off. And then I got a little 1.5 pound brick here I'm going to throw out in my yard here and stomp on it because I've fried. But I am working or talking through the Focusrite 4i4 along with an SM7B microphone. Boom. This is a new setup. Connected to the Focusrite is a set of JBL brand. All this stuff is brand new. Nothing more than a month old. So, pair of JBL 6.5 monitors, 6.5 inch monitors. On a cloud lifter, when Ian first came on, I was listening to my voice in the, it sounded good, but the gain stage on the Focusrite was about at 9, almost maxed out. And the thing about that is I had nowhere else to go. If I needed more juice, I had absolutely nowhere else to go. So what I had to do was I ended up buying one of these. Let me see if I can get this up here.
Hi, Hurricane. How you doing, Mooney?
This here is called a cloud lifter. What is it? It offers a 25% boost in the clean gain stage of the microphone. So, Ian, do you want to explain how that works with the low noise floor with this type of microphone?
Yeah, it's because the SMB is a dynamic microphone. It basically is quite a low output. So when you're using it as a vocal microphone, you have to be quite close to it in order to give it enough signal to push enough voltage through. But there isn't enough going out to really trigger the Focusrite. The Focusrite requires slightly more voltage in order to make the signal work. And what the booster does is it essentially mimics a condenser, the effect of the voltage from a condenser, without changing the qualities of the microphone. So it's still a dynamic microphone. So it basically takes phantom power directly from the Focusrite, but it doesn't put it anywhere near the microphone. And it just gives you a 25 dB boost to your clean preamp sound. So you get no overhead. It's the preamp on it actually is just as good as they say they are. I was quite impressed when I heard it because I've not heard them before. I'd only heard demos. So hearing it like this was quite an eye-opener. It's as clean as you can imagine. It's clean as a hard-boiled egg. There is no top end to it. So it just gives you that extra ceiling that enables you to go a little bit further. And you pushed it almost up to full and got very little pop and squat and quack. Breakup was minimal. So like obviously that's what you need for a dynamic mic. That's how you have to treat them.
So now if you kind of I mean it's hard to tell unless I do like a side-by-side comparison with the Tascam Mini 40 Studio 2, my old interface, the one we just unplugged. What, if any, can you hear the difference, or does the mic still sound its glorious self, or does the boost with the Focusrite sound much better than what it did just plain Jane with the
they're not going to be able to tell from without a reference point. The microphone before sounded good because it's a good microphone, but you were pushing it a little bit, so you weren't getting all the frequency ranges. It was pushing the top end a little bit. And at the moment, when we did the comparison, the difference in the fullness of the sound frequencies, in the depth of your voice, you sounded much more like you suddenly stepped into the room, the same room I'm in the headphones. It sounded like the same space, but without a reference, that's going to be really difficult for them to actually hear it. Probably the simplest way to show them would be to, if you left your gain as it is now and simply turned off the phantom power, which would mute you, and then reconnected your microphone without the cloud lifter, and then show them what that's like. But because believe me, the difference is quite profound. It is really quite profound.
Okay. Well, we got another guest down there. We're going to let him into the room here in a second. But I want to do what you just suggested. I'm going to take the cloud lifter off. So, guys, try to remember kind of what I'm sounding like right now. And then when I get back here within a few seconds here, let me know what I sound like, man. Okay. Just give me a second. Now, this is my voice right here with the cloud lifter. Okay. So we're going to turn this down so I'm not killing anything. I'll be right back in un momento.
Okay, so if anyone's got any really good stories to tell about Jeff, now's the time. See you, Andy. Take care. Say hi to Laurie.
Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Okie dokie. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, now here I am with the Focusrite right now at about 8 o'clock. Okay, this is almost max gain. Now I'm going to turn it up to max gain. So you're going to see, I feel like I actually have to talk louder because I'm not hearing myself the way I did with the cloud lifter. So I feel like I'm a little bit lower in volume in my cans, and I am. And I'm going to jack this all the way up, which means I don't have room for much more gain with this Focusrite without the cloud lifter. This is me maxed out. Okay, this is the volume of the Focusrite maxed out. You can probably hear some plosives, boom, boom, boom. You hear that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You hear that, don't you, bro?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I sound a little fizzy in my ears. I sound a little elevated, like I'm really trying to push my voice, or it sounds like the Focusrite is trying to push me out there, but at a level that doesn't sound too cool. It doesn't sound right.
And you're beginning to pop on the hard consonants are beginning to pop slightly.
Yeah.
Not too bad. It's not too bad, but it is there.
Killer clowns, ping pong. Killer clowns, ping pong. Killer clowns, ping pong. Boom. Okay, now I'm going to go back to the cloud lifter. Remember, I am maxed out right now. This is my Focusrite maxed out without the cloud lifter. Okay, hang on.
Hi, Jimmy. Good to see you.
Okay, this is with the cloud lifter at halfway. This to me sounds better at halfway than it did maxed out without the cloud lifter. Okay, now I'm going to go up to where my volume was, which would be about 2 o'clock on the dial instead of 9 or 10 o'clock maxed out. So this is what it sounds like with the cloud lifter. And I can get loud, proud, talk way loud without it going or fizzing out. So I can bring my voice up, and I'm not even maxing anything out. Right now I'm getting yellow, but I still sound okay, and it's not plosiving out on me, going ploo, 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 killer clowns, ping pong, ping pong, ping pong, ping pong, ping pong, ping pong, ping pong. See, it's just it sounds good. Okay, now that's at 2 o'clock. And yeah, it requires phantom power to push the cloud lifter, but none of that power gets cycled back through the microphone. It all stops. Whatever signal goes from the mic goes into the cloud lifter, not the cloud lifter into the mic back to the stuff. So there's no real power going from this microphone into the cloud lifter. It's whatever signal is pushed into the cloud lifter goes into the interface, and that's what amplifies your voice and makes your voice carry without clipping so badly. Does that sound correct?
Yeah, more or less. I mean, basically, you've just added another preamp, effectively. I mean, it's a good preamp from everything I've been listening to. I think it's a good preamp. So it's powered, but it doesn't shift power onto the microphone, which would destroy the mic. So.
Yeah,
but it does sound a heck of a lot better. I think if in the chat, everybody give me a 1 if you think Hippie's voice with the cloud lifter sounds one heck of a lot better than it did without the cloud lifter. Give me a 1 if you agree with me.
Yeah. So yeah, I get more clarity. I get more warmth out of it. I also feel that it doesn't feel like I have to push my voice to make it sound good. I was pushing my voice out there to just make a point that without the cloud lifter with this SM7B on this, and there's other guys that did demos of the same situation where they said, yeah, you got to go to 9, push it at 9, and even then you're getting a little this and that. So yeah, let's do a cloud lifter. Boom. Next thing you know, wow, the guy's voice just got totally mellow, totally dynamic, and everything was warm and fuzzy inside and sounded great, man.
Yeah. And it gives you the chance now to explore how to use a microphone, mic technique. And because it's a dynamic mic, you get to do a lot more with it. That's the thing about dynamic mics, is they're great for mic technique because small movements will have quite profound effects on the sound. Whereas with the condenser like mine, I can move my head around. It doesn't change very much. I have to make big movements towards it or large movements away for it to have the same effect. So you can start to get all dramatic with the way you deliver, and you can do asides, and you can, where you turn your head to the side and you speak and it sounds like somebody's muttering in the background, which is, all of which is useful from an entertainment perspective. If you want to get into public speaking and stuff like that, it's all really useful. But everybody seems to be agreeing that it sounds a lot better with it in. So I think, it wasn't just wasn't just the way it was coming through StreamYards. It seems to be working through YouTube as well.
Okay, I'm about 2 fists away from this. I'm not even, and my Focusrite is not picking me up at 2 o'clock. Boom. Now, if I did that, it does.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm not registering to my Focusrite at 2 fists away. Let me turn it up to about 3 o'clock. Okay, this is 3 o'clock at about 2 fists away. Do I sound like I'm further away, or
no? At 3 o'clock, you sound the same.
If I boost my gain up as I back away, then things will even themselves out as if I was up here at 2 o'clock.
Yeah, to a limited extent, you'll only have probably about maybe 2.5 feet to play in. Whereas with a condenser mic, you have considerably more than that, but it picks up a lot more ambient noise, which obviously is not what you really want. So, in those terms. So 2 fists, 3 fists away, and at 3 o'clock, 2 fists away sounds comfortably like you're in the same room. And at 2 o'clock, you do that, it sounds like an aside. It sounds like you've turned your head to the side. So the sweet spot is somewhere between 2 and 3.
Hey, man, what's going on? Hey, man, what's going on?
Yeah.
Hey, man, what's going on? Yo, man, what's going on? Yo, man, what's going on? Not much. How are you doing? I'm doing pretty good. How are you? All right.
Yeah, there you go. So you get variations in tone with fairly small movements. So, that seems to work.
All right. Well, let's bring in our second guest. He's down there whittling on his guitar, so hopefully he's not bored, man. Let's bring in Mr. Preston Smith, man. Let's check him out. Boom. Mr. Smith.
Hi.
What's going on, man?
That's funny. Got bored. Decided to play my guitar for a little while.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, what's going on, man? So what do you think? You've heard, right? You've heard.
So what do you think the voice sounds like now, Preston?
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds great. No booms, no blowing, and still the headroom.
Yeah, got tons of headroom, man. I mean, I can scream in it, and it would hardly want to push yellow. You know what I mean? If I stay like a fist away at 2:00 on this thing, it sounds pretty dynamic and really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I back away, obviously I'm going to lose something. But if I come in and talk like right almost in it, about a fist away, it sounds. I think it sounds good in my cans. It does. It sounds really good.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I want to sit back a little bit or move the mic, like way out here, I just crank up my gain just a tad. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Hey, 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 hey. Boom, boom. Now, I don't know how I actually sound. Do I sound further away or not?
Marginally, but not much.
So
to be honest, yeah. I mean, that
could I get away with fooling people that I have a good mic and a good setup this far away at 3:00?
Yeah, you can. It still sounds good. I mean, when you upped your volume a little bit, then it sounded crystal clear and still had the same kind of resonance to it.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I'm comfortable about a fist away from. I mean, I don't like it right up in my face.
Yeah.
But about a fist away is comfortable for me, man.
Well, these are primarily miking up mics. They're like the old, the SM5758 is a mic you have to be right on top of, and they're used in for singers and all kinds of things. I use them just singing. You should be able to, with a mic like that, use it as a broadcast mic. Yeah. And then you could still move closer to it and still not peak it too much, because these things are designed for that. That's what they're for, So it as a solution to, and the other thing was I was amazed at how good the sound through that mic was when you were using the monitors with the guitar earlier, and all I could hear was through the microphone, and it wasn't even set properly or close to the speaker or anything. We hadn't done it. You just turned it slightly towards it, and you wouldn't want to play that. You wouldn't want to hear that all the time, but it sounded pretty damn good. I could hear the tones you were getting. So I think the system is pretty robust in that respect.
Sweet. Boom. Sounds good. Doing great. Boom, boom. Everybody, welcome Preston Smith to the show, man. What's up, bro?
Not much, man. I am good. Yeah. It's nice. I got a chance to speak to my sister. It's always good. What's that?
Did you get your bong stem glued back together?
No.
It's totally gone, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's the way that works.
I'm guessing that was glass stemware that you broke.
Yeah, I use glass. The bowl piece broke in half. I knocked something on it. And it just fell off. Me? Nah.
Cloud lifter to broken bong stems. Yeah.
I might be a Star Wars fan.
Who's a Star Wars
My lightsabers are over there.
Oh, yeah.
I unfortunately have one lightsaber in the entire house, obviously not a real one, that belongs to my daughters. So it sings fairy tunes and sparkles at me. It's just not the same. Guys, if you ever have children, try and have both, at least one.
Oh, yeah.
So that you can have a train set, I don't mean that, of course.
3 boys. 3 boys and a girl.
Yeah. I've got 2 girls, so I wouldn't know what to do with a lad. But it's like it's all scale electrics and train sets. I never got those things. I got Barbie dolls.
Yeah. Well, I got the Darth Maul lightsaber, so it splits in half, right? So technically, I got 2 or 1.
We got a little sympathy.
Yeah,
for
they're cheap though.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, that's the whole goal of doing this show that I developed here over the past year or so, was to figure out a way to grassroots fund everything and make this a big, huge community effort, big melting pot of musicians.
Bear with me.
and,
I have to answer this.
Okay. Big grassroots collective here that we got with all the musicians from around the world and stuff. It turned into something. I would hope that it would have turned into something like this, and it has. But with a lot of hard work and dedication. Not so much dedication from me. Yeah, that's the main driving force. I'm the bus driver, of course, and I trying to set things up and make them work and stuff. But without you guys' participation and coming along for the ride, man, none of this would have been possible. If you guys haven't helped out the hippie and donated throughout the year and stuff like that, I squirreled a lot of that stuff away and bought the best stuff that I could from you guys helping me to make this show sound, look, and feel better, man. And we're still not done. I'm not done unless you guys are done. I mean, if you want to quit on the hippie, that's totally up to you, man. But I hope you don't. And I want to get things picked up a lot better and feeling and looking a lot better in the months to come, man. And as long as you guys keep coming along for the ride, man, and keep sharing your music and being hip, slick, and cool in chat, and you desire this type of entertainment, I'll be here for you, man, to get your music heard and to help this community grow as much as I possibly can, man. You guys are helping my channel grow by the donations. The donations, as I told you in the very beginning of my YouTube journey with this channel, would be that everything that came into the channel would go back into the channel, either in the form of gifts, prizes, t-shirts, whatever else I could come up with to do giveaways with, and getting new gear to go back into the show and stuff. And I squirreled away a lot of those donations and stuff, kept the show money separate from my own pocketbook and stuff like that, and spent it only on what was needed for the show and for you guys to make everything much, much better than they were in the very beginning. If you look back at where this show came from the beginning to now, it's a whole different animal. And I owe that to all you guys for showing up and participating and wanting this channel to go places, and with your participation in all sorts of ways, man. So my kudos to all you guys who has helped this channel. And oh man, is Hurricane Moon broadcasting right now? We should have him come
He's
over
doing
here.
an absentee broadcast of a playlist, so it's unmanned. It's kind of an unmanned broadcast.
Oh, I got you. Okay. I was kind of wondering what the hell does he mean unmanned? Is it? Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm not here to step on anybody's toes, man. I just wanted to.
I don't know about anybody else in the chat or anyone in the community. The next things, because you've got your interface, your main things that you might are the things that you get your voice across with, and then there's the things you get the music across with, and they're two separate things at this point. You've got your interface, which gets your microphone in and produces a decent sound. It's got a good sample rate and all that kind of stuff, so it's nice and clear. And you can monitor it back through that device. So you've got all your monitoring sorted out now, and everything, your headphones, your monitors, which you wouldn't really use in a live situation. The next things seem to me to be software based, is how to make the show more streamlined, perhaps easier to control from your perspective, so that you know, because you're always running into those problems, and you know, StreamYards is like this, YouTube's are like this, they keep dropping things out, and you need to so I think that the way to look now is, gear wise, you pretty much got exactly what you need. You've got what most of us are using. In fact, you've got better than most of us. You've got the top of the top range of everything, and so we're sorted in that respect. From input wise, we're sorted. It's now about the software and how you manipulate the connection between the music you're playing and then you speaking, and because that's always, you know, the two situation is proof that that is a fraught situation. You know, because it's like you click a button and it doesn't, you know, that should be the next sort of things that we need to look at from a qualitative perspective.
Yeah, Lars, I got the 4i4 Focusrite. So it's I think it's exactly what I need. No more, no less. If I want to expand a little bit, I can. If I want to add another mic in it, do it for a guest or instead of headphones or something like that, yeah, that's cool. I could probably do that with this. And if I want to add a mixer into it later on down the road, if I decide if I need more control over certain things, aspects of the show, if it gets to that point, then maybe a mixer will come into it and stuff. But somebody that knows a great deal about that would be Jade Star, the way she does her things over on her channel and stuff. And she has her stuff working pretty good, man.
Yeah.
No, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I saw the little hand controller she's got.
Yeah.
Which like that could double up. That doubles up like a vision mixer. That's a nice piece of kit. I can see why she's using that.
Yeah. Well, Lars, I was over watching your thing on your channel too about your music gear setup and stuff. So yeah, you got the Focusrite too, right? I think he does. Boom.
Yeah, and the other thing is, if anybody knows, because this is something that we keep coming up against, and I'm not entirely sure that I know the answers to it, is how do you get to stream live onto YouTube with your guitar? In fact, we were going to ask you this, Preston, specifically. How do you get your guitar sound from the sim to StreamYards? Because when we were doing
simulated sound,
yeah, that's right, from the the amp sim you're using. Because when Hippie plugged in, I could hear the clean tone just like through a transparent amp, but I couldn't hear what the application was.
Well, I have my modeler set up on the outside of my interface, so that goes in, and then you're hearing that.
Right. So that's like playing through an amp. Yeah, traditional.
Pretty
like
much, except that I'm using. That's right. So the other way would be to use the Focusrite to set up modeling software on the PC, and then I don't know, potentially probably using some sort of mixing software and using that as your audio out. The best person to ask for that would be Marshall, because he knows how to get all those different things out. So does Jade too. It's the same procedures, right? As far as I know.
Because, well, see, I want to eventually do what you do, which is pick up your guitar and play and be heard on whatever application I'm using or choose to use. Now, if I need to come off StreamYards and do OBS to do that, I'll figure out a way to do that. I'll find the workaround for that. Obviously, I'll just have to do whatever it is you're doing and mimic that.
Well, you could do it with yours.
Do
OBS and StreamYard should be able to do it. Or I guess you'd be using the app. I assume you use the application to host your StreamYard, right?
Well, this won't do it because me and Ian were trying to get the Amplitude to play through here. He could hear the clean, but he couldn't hear anything else. He couldn't hear I'm over here Black Sabbath and out, I'm dooming, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, boom, and Paranoid and all that stuff. All he was hearing was a clean tone, and it probably sounded like shit. But what I was hearing was pretty damn spectacular playing on Jason.
That's all you're gonna get when I play now, right? Because I don't have my microphone set up the same way. You're not getting that. You're getting this.
Well, we were trying to get the app to go into StreamYards, and there's no way to do it. So that's what we were trying to figure out.
Yeah,
because
trying to
the
share
tone I
the-
was getting and what he was hearing was totally different.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Because I was literally just getting the microphone plugged into the Focusrite, using the Focusrite's preamp like a transparent amp. So all you were hearing was the guitar. And it sounded amplified, but very, just like ordinarily amplified through not a non, like playing it through your hi-fi, that kind of thing. That's what it sounded like.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, as far as I know, having both of your inputs control your sound, then you summing it, right? Bringing it down to one out. So however you do that, I don't know how you would do it with the Focusrite, other than plugging your amp into it directly, or having another modeler on the outside, like like any pedal board.
That's how
modeling board.
Francis does it that way. Yeah.
Okay, but that's not using the sim. We're using the amp. No. If you're saying do that, use my amp, and then my amp tone will be transferred into StreamYards that way, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's right. If you're going direct, you'll get a direct tone, but that's a different way to do things. It's completely different, actually, because you're going to process your sound through the computer.
Yeah.
Probably
the Scarlett actually would be the sound card.
Yeah, it would. I mean, the thing that we need to figure out is how StreamYards can share the audio on anything other than a web page.
Yeah.
And I'm not, you see, I don't think it can. I think OBS can do that, but I don't think StreamYards can.
Let me try something. Wrong. Okay. Maybe I'll try something. Let's see, because I've got OBS running. And that's this, but my sound is going through the computer. Whoops. Hold on a second here. Go to audio.
Edwin Crane. Hello, buddy. How you doing? Hurricane.
I'm going to use I'm going to change my audio to my mixer. Can you hear this?
Yeah.
That's why that works. Now my mixer is using it. Not this.
Well, I could hear you through both microphones, so yeah.
But that's pretty loud, so I'm gonna go back to the other microphone. Hold on a second.
Yeah, we had a minor earthquake here earlier today, man. I don't know when about a minute after you left me that one comment, Ian.
Yeah, I saw your response. Yeah, you said the guitars were shaking. What?
Yeah, my guitars are like this. My little PRS here was like, and it's kind of like on a pendulum, so it's kind of like balanced in between. It's kind of like a clock kind of thing, you know what I mean?
But the strings resonate. Did you get resonating strings because of?
No. It wasn't that. If it gets that bad, bro, the house is coming down. You know what I'm saying? This little corner of the hippie shack will be no more.
I can only just hear you, Preston. In fact, I can't really hear you at all.
You can hear me?
Yeah, just about. It's really faint.
So how about now?
Yeah, that's a little better. Yeah.
So now I'm using the mixer for the mic instead of my computer. But now I got my guitar.
Right. That's pretty loud. Yeah.
Yeah, your guitar is louder than your voice.
Yeah. The microphone, that's the problem. It's a cheap mic. So.
Okay.
Or
yeah, when you twanged out your strings, man, we heard that pretty good.
Yeah, that wasn't a dry signal. That was an amped signal, yeah.
And so with this. Yeah. Okay, I'm going back to the other mic.
Yeah.
Right, Lars is saying that when I go live, I use a digital mixer into the Focusrite. Does that enable you, Lars, to just channel all the signal directly through your Focusrite? So if you've chosen your Focusrite on StreamYards, it would just take that, the whole thing. Is that what the mixer allows you to do?
Yeah.
This mic working again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good,
okay, thank you.
Last night, Jade and Preston were basically broadcasting from their OBS into StreamYards. So any sound that came through a microphone that they could either like cab up or whatever, mic cab up, they could play guitar right into this that way and stuff. But for me to share an app on my PC into StreamYards, I would have to do it sort of the same way, and I probably StreamYard to then become redundant and stupid to even own it or use it.
Unless you set up a scene with that.
Yeah.
Specifically, then you can go to that scene for that purpose. Right.
Yeah, we're not able to do that here with StreamYards. What we're
yeah.
trying to do is figure out a StreamYard workaround other than coming in with OBS, because if I'm going to stream from OBS into StreamYards, I might as well just kill StreamYards and stay with OBS and not even worry about the program here, even though this is a very simple enter and click and stuff program. That's cool. But the clarity that we got with OBS with audio and visuals last night when I was using them, I deleted those 2 videos that I was on last night with OBS. But that was just a test. But the quality of the audio and the visuals and stuff were better than this. I mean, I could get 1080p if I paid for it, and that'd be $50 a month. I mean, no, just no. What I get with StreamYards at this point for the money is just enough, and I think I'm overpaying the $25 for what we get with StreamYards and stuff like that.
To answer Edwin here, you can install Restream on OBS to stream Reaper. Yeah. I was using
I think if I get a DAW
like that, but NDI is better.
I think if I get a DAW, right?
Yeah.
If I get a DAW and run things that way, if I there's things I can do to get my sound, my guitar sound in here other than using OBS, right? There's things I can do. I just got to get the setup and do it, right?
Yeah, Edwin, I mean, there is this thing, the Restream program, but you're saying NDS work, is that
NDI?
NDI, that's a different plugin, presumably. Yeah.
No, it's a whole application for your computer to coordinate various devices for sound into one. Typically, it was used for Zoom.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Because Zoom had a lot of problems with big business. So big businesses will have more than one streaming unit on their tables, and then they go out across the world and do these big conferences. They needed some software that would combine all the sound into one, and that's free. It's just really big.
Right. Oh, well, that sounds, there's an iOS version that does something very similar, and I can't remember the name of it, but it's but I think Jade's talked about that. There's an iOS version that does very similar. If that does the same kind of thing, then that would actually offer you the opportunity to take just whatever you've got. It was
probably built off the same SDK, actually.
Yeah.
NDI, the company, put out an SDK for anybody who has streaming platforms.
Then it's probably the same thing, because I know that's just something that enables you to marshal all the inputs that you've got and then collect them all together and then output that.
There is quite a few, Edwin. Restream. There was another one too. I can't remember it now. I couldn't install it. It kept crashing my computer. What was it?
Bro, you do need to get a new PC though.
No, I gotta update. I gotta update the OS.
But I don't think your system's going to be able to handle it, because I tried to do it with another 7 app that I had, and it just wouldn't take Windows 10. and it basically just crashed.
You can take it. I got 16 gigs. It's a good board. I need to update the video, not the video card. Well, I guess I could, but I'd like to install an eISA card for USB 3 on board, right? So I don't want external USB device.
Have you got all your apps in Windows 10 format or in Windows 7?
No, I'm going to format it and do a fresh install of everything.
But I mean, your applications that you've got, will they run on Windows 10?
Most of them.
Most right there, yeah. That's the main problem I always think. Whenever you're updating, just make sure your apps are intact.
Yeah, like I said, like I'm just going to format it. That way I get everything new.
Preston, throw your link over there. Lars is asking for it.
Sure.
Hang on. Yeah, you're a mega football player on YouTube.
Apparently, yeah. Football, country singer, apparently. I've served in the war in World War II. Maybe one.
Yeah. You died like 80 times.
Yeah, something like
that. Yeah. Type it in Google. You'll come up with a picture of Preston Smith from way back.
Yeah. There's probably a Preston Smith that fought in the War of Independence. I mean, when you think about it,
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. Preston's an old name.
Yeah.
Yeah. It means priest's village, so I guess I'm a village.
Yeah. There's an old English proverb story, like folk tales about a character, a knight called Preston, and that's from like the 11th century. So it's a pretty It's got a pretty decent history.
And my last name is Smith. Most people don't even believe that.
I'm not going to ask what it's like when you
nice name. What's your last name? Smith? Fuck off.
Well, don't tell me if you don't want to. Yeah.
Don't ask.
Ian, if you want to put your link in the chat there, you can too, man. Just go ahead and let people know where you're at.
Hey, Rick.
Rick Hefner, what's up, buddy? What's going on? Hurricane Moon's over there. What's up, buddy? Sean Aaron, you still hanging out, man? Glad you're here, man. Ruddy's Jam Cave, welcome. Epiphonium, Jimmy Biter, what's up, buddy? What's going on, man? Boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom. Yeah, let me know. Jimmy, do you want to come on the show, man? Biter, Mr. Biter, Jimmy Biter. Let me know, bro. I'll send you a link.
Interesting. Hurry. I don't know why that happens. I'm not too worried if I lose a sub, though. Sure, sucks for people who were subbed.
Yeah, I've noticed that I'm getting unsubbed from channels that I have definitely watched videos all the way through and left comments on.
Yeah.
And I'm still finding that occasionally I have no idea what.
I don't think I've ever been unsubbed from something, but I'm not seeing all the videos I could see.
Yeah, no, I mean notifications too. That's the most common thing that I'll go to his site. Like this happened with Mooney's site. I mean, Mooney's a member of the house band. It's like I've got his notifications on for all those guys that don't turn any of that stuff off, and his notifications off. And I've missed like 15 videos. It was like, what the hell? I thought he was just hibernating. Come on, this is right.
Taking a break.
Yeah.
Do you understand that question? Because he's saying software for the desktop interface. I'm not sure what Rick means by desktop interface.
Does your new focus?
When I downloaded the software, Rick, what it did is it left me with a control panel. When I plug in if I unplug my interface, it will say nothing's disconnected. When I turn off the power, I don't know about that. If it shuts down that desktop application that allows me to run it, I don't know anything about that yet because I haven't done it yet. Since I've got this plugged in, it hasn't been turned off in a couple hours now. But yeah, it offers you a desktop control panel. Yeah, for Focusrite, but that's about it. The other software that comes with it, I haven't yet accessed that, or if it does come with other free software, I don't know what it is yet.
Yeah,
It's
essentially,
still just,
I think what Rick's does it come with software for a desktop? Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Essentially, that's what the control panel is. That's a desktop interface. That's how you affect it from your desktop, or you choose it, or you select it. You know, it's how it works with Windows. So it's how it communicates with Windows. So yes, effectively. But you also get a bundle of other software with it, which you don't need because it's working. We've just proven it's working. You're broadcasting. It's doing its job.
Yeah, we can hear it.
You know, we can hear it. So everything's good. There won't be any software that magically makes it much better or makes you sing like Pavarotti or anything like that.
Yeah.
You know,
no magic.
Yeah, no magic.
No miracles.
But you will get a door, which is not magic, but it is a cauldron. So you know. So there probably will come with something. It's probably Ableton or something like that. You know, which, let's face it, if you want a door, just download Reaper. It's the one everyone uses. So
Focusrite control makes it simple to route your audio and cue mix, loop back, and monitor mixes from Mac, PC, iPad, iPhone, or iPod.
Yeah. I'm trying to get Marshall on here, but there he is. What's up, bro? Marshall, everybody. What's up, bro?
Hi, Marshall.
How you doing, man?
Hey, what's happening?
Good. You can come up a little bit now.
Come
on up a little bit.
A little low on the volume, but
okay. Let me mute this. There we go. I'm hoping y'all can hear me.
Yep, you're a little faint, but it's all right.
Come on up a little bit.
Yeah. Hang on. I got to do my StreamYard. All right. Okay. Well, that might be as loud as I'm going to get.
Yeah,
that sounds
all right.
That sounds good.
Now you can come down just
okay. These SM7s, man, they're tricky, aren't they? Sorry for getting here so late. I worked late tonight, so
yeah, you're good now, bro. You're good. Yeah.
I caught your work yesterday with those frets. That fret job.
Oh man. Yeah, I got that done today, dude. You could feed your mama off those frets, man. They're awesome. That turned out great.
Awesome.
So we're talking 4i4s and the
did you hear the difference between the cloud lifter and whatnot, or you may have to?
I did. I heard that last night, and that really made that SM7 pop. I thought you were definitely louder than everyone else, which was a great blessing.
Well, I didn't have this hooked up last night. I only hooked it up today.
Oh, you didn't?
No. That
was okay. So I didn't hear the
Focusrite is just hooked up today, and the cloud lifter was hooked up today. So what you heard last night was just boom. But here's what I was telling Ian in the beginning was that when I shut down my video, and because I have the echo cancellation on, okay, now I don't think YouTube recognizes echo cancellation. So what it does is it steps on it during the show, but when it processes out the post-processing, it kind of takes off the echo cancellation, and it allows, and boom, my volume goes up from what it was now on the show. And then when it processes the video on YouTube, my voice volume goes up. So I don't know what that is, man. So apparently something gets missed in the processing between StreamYards, YouTube, and the post-processing of it if I have the echo cancellation on. Now, if I'm solo, it doesn't. But the echo cancellation, when it's on, calms everything down. But when it goes into post, YouTube, upload, and it's finished, the video is processed, I come across way boomer like this, and I have to actually turn my stuff down. So I don't know if it's going to happen with the Focusrite. I don't know if it was a glitch with the stuff I was using at the time. So hopefully when this uploads later, because it is on echo cancellation, my voice doesn't get projected over top of everything else. So I got to figure that out.
Yeah. The Focusrite, the Scarlett 4i4 shouldn't have anything to do with that. It's going to behave almost identically to your old interface that you were plugged into before. There's virtually no difference. So that's not going to affect any of that. Echo cancellation, I am not certain about all that does. I noticed that when I joined this live stream, it offered me the option for echo cancellation, and I'm going to my audio settings, and I have echo cancellation selected right now, and if deselected, I just
see he
just
dropped.
Now, my volume dropped. Right, and I selected stereo audio. I don't know if that made any difference, but not that anything's stereo. So now I just turned the echo cancellation back on.
Yeah, that sounds better.
Off.
It's on now.
On sounds better.
So
the stereo actually made it shift all over to my left.
Oh, really? With the stereo?
Yeah.
Okay. That's due to the fact that I'm plugged into channel 2 on my audio interface, which is coming in the left side. And if I plug my guitar in right now, you'd hear it on your right ear if I was in stereo. I'm now in mono.
That makes sense. Right.
So it seems like the echo cancellation, I am not 100% certain what that exactly does. But obviously it's making my microphone, when I turn it on and off, when it's off, my microphone volume is less. When it's on, my microphone volume is louder.
Echo
that seems totally counterintuitive.
Like, white noise type thing. That's all. I don't really. It's not powerful. Echo cancellation. It's just more like a white noise generator. Cancels out incoming and outgoing.
So yeah, but that's the whole point. Why is it boosting and negating his other signals to go boosted when it's?
Well, I couldn't tell you that.
If it
Some kind of architecture is weird there.
Does it create like a standing wave? Is it like noise cancelling headphones?
Yeah, that's how I always look at noise cancellation or echo cancellation.
If it creates a noise a standing wave by putting the same frequency back in, or if it's even a rough guess at the frequency or a band of the frequencies, then some of them will be boosted and some of them will be suppressed.
Right,
because that's the nature of it. So that might explain it, but I wouldn't know why the difference was so big. That would be down to the coding, to the algorithms they were using.
Ian, go ahead. Ian, go in and out on your echo cancellation and let's see if it causes you a difference. And then Preston, when he's done, you do it too. See what it does.
Okay, so I've got echo cancellation on at the moment, and then that's saying exactly the same tone of voice with echo cancellation off.
See, he dropped.
Yep, and your volume got quieter.
Right. Okay, and that's back on again.
Yeah.
Okay, here's mine on, the off, and I assume it went down too.
You guys don't need echo cancellation on. Only I do, because you guys are.
So I should.
What's that?
Yeah,
I'm not using a headset, so I should.
Yeah. Preston's using speakers, so he'll need it. But I don't need it.
I too am using speakers, so I want to leave it on. But I don't, with this microphone, I don't think it's totally necessary at all. I think he's using Preston's using a condenser mic. Am I correct on that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's plugged into the computer, so I have some other things in there, like DC offsets and stuff like that. Advanced audio things that are on the sound card.
Right.
Yeah.
I might have to pause for a minute. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, guys?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, okay.
You leave right when I get here, of course, man.
I'll be back. All right. 10 minutes.
Hi, Dwight, and hi, Carrie. Sorry, say hi to you.
Dwight and Carrie, what's up, man? Epiphonium, what's going on?
What's up,
The
Mr.
Hitman's
Bailey?
Dwight's 100% awesome, man. Let's move this down a little bit.
Rick's asking a question that you'd probably be able to answer best, Marshall. He's saying that if he's trying to mic up a cab, would a USB mixer is a mixer or an interface better? And it's like, well, you kind of need both, but you can explain the kind of, because you do much more of that kind of stuff than I do.
Right. If you're miking up a cab, having an EQ in between your microphone and your DAW or your recording, if you're recording, is definitely an advantage because it allows you to EQ your microphone post speaker. So in that instance, a USB mixer might not be a bad idea. However, I see it as an almost wasted step and a wasted piece of gear because in any DAW, and I use Reaper, you can EQ your microphone before it actually goes and actually is recorded. You can commit an EQ. In Reaper, you can commit an EQ to that channel and EQ it, and what it records is what you've EQ'd that guitar tone to be like. The other thing is that in Reaper, you don't have to commit to that EQ. You can put the EQ on post-recording, and it's going to sound like that all the time, but it gives you the opportunity to manipulate it after the fact. So ultimately, you're recording your guitar raw and then post-EQing it, but you can do the same thing but at that point, you're committed. So I don't know if I'm kind of spinning you in a bit of a circle there, and I hope I've answered your question, but I don't use a mixing console. I don't use anything between my guitar amp if I'm playing through an amp and my audio interface. I plug my guitar directly into my audio interface and use software to get my guitar tones primarily anymore. So that's my take on that. I do all of my EQing and tweaking post recording. And that really is literally regardless of having an amplifier mic'd up, which always sounds amazing. And that always sounds amazing. Or just a direct microphone, or a direct line from my amplifiers, which I own 2 amplifiers that have a DI out. So I have a lot of options at my disposal, but I do not use a mixer in between. That similar to what Jeff did with buying that Tascam M12, it's kind of it's a gray area of saying it's wasted time or wasted money, because you can do all that after the fact. But
I can see why for broadcast you'd want it, because you can't do that after the fact when you're live streaming. It has to be done.
Now therein lies also another issue. I'm running through OBS right now to get onto this live stream. I'm using my OBS virtual camera so I can, do a screen change, something, I think, maybe. No. Anyway, so you can EQ a vocal or a guitar part in OBS using VST plugins. And I use the same ones in my OBS as I use in Reaper when I'm EQing a vocal performance.
So you can post-effect it in that way through OBS. You can do the same thing. That's pretty good.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, Carrie's asking about, has anyone used Studio One? And so that's what the conversation's generally about. Is we're talking about Sims and and Studio One. Yeah, I've used it. It's quite good, but I just use GarageBand because, quite frankly, I don't really need it. Studio One's quite heavy in terms of a DAW. It does everything you need, but it's okay.
Yeah, and I don't have any experience with Studio One.
So,
did you guys get this question here?
Yes, that's what we're answering. Yeah, answering it now.
Okay.
just saying, yeah, Studio One is slightly heavy and it's a really steeply learning curve. It's not the most intuitive of interfaces, and so I tend, I mean, free sims, I'd always recommend Amplitude, which is what I got Hippie using today, and it just, as a break-in product, you can use it free. It's got some really great sounds, and you can play with it and decide what you like, whether you like sims or not. And then if you do, the best one to get is, without a question of a doubt, is Neural DSP, because they've got the best sounds. It just, they have, and there's no, you know, I don't think anybody would disagree with that. But you're going to get a really long way with Amplitude. So you know, you know, that'd be my recommendation.
Yeah, I back you 100% on that. I think Amplitube is a great place to start, but you know, I chose Neural DSP when they started hitting the scene. So with respect to amp sims and guitar amp simulators, they just absolutely crush it. And I own, I think I have 4 different Neural DSP plugins: Archetype Abasi, Archetype Nolly, the Nameless Suite, and the Dark Glass for their bass, and their bass tones are wow.
Yeah, the Dark Glass ones are pretty weird.
Yeah, my only hope. What's that, Jeff?
Now here's the thing. I just listened to you rattle off 4 different types, and I heard you rattle off 4 different types. But does Neural DSP have one that's an all-encompassing program, or do you have to go ahead and spend all that money just to get all that tone?
No, the Archetype Nolly is the most versatile, simple amp sim that Neural DSP makes. And right now, I don't work for Neural DSP. Those guys owe me a lot for all the people that I know that have that. And it's not because of my songs or my recordings. It's because I've been saying, hey, this stuff sounds fucking awesome. You put a set of headphones on and play your guitar through that stuff, and it's remarkable. But the Archetype Nolly, Neural DSP is currently running a 20% off sale right now. So you can get an amp sim with 4 different amplifiers, 4 different speaker cabinets, and 6 foot pedals, overdrives, delays, reverb, you know, and a compressor. So it's a very basic outline for a foot pedal board. And the other thing is you can program it with a MIDI controller that I have right down here at my feet. So I ultimately have my pedal board as if I'm playing through a real amp, and it just sounds glorious. So the Archetype Nolly is the end all. It's got amazing clean tones. It's got amazing overdriven tones. It's got amazing heavy grunge, you know, doom rock tones if you dial it in, and it's just like operating an amplifier. So I'm an avid fan of Neural DSP, and in my opinion, it's one of the more simple amp sims to run. In fact, but I have no problem with Amplitube for a software environment plugin either. I agree with Ian 100%.
So, Ian, what's it cost to actually buy the complete Amplitube program? I mean,
Amplitude?
Do they have it, or do they just nick one dime together?
There's some free stuff.
You don't buy it en masse, because it would be
enormously expensive.
Yeah,
you'd be spending $1 million.
Yeah,
just buy a few things you need.
You see all the things that have got padlocks on them. You can unlock those by buying them, and they don't cost a lot. Like, you know, a pedal might cost you, you know, $3 or $4 or something. Yeah, $5 or something. A new amp might cost you $20 or something for something really, really good at that. You know, for something just fresh out. Or you can buy a collection. Like I said, so if you're a big Brian May fan, Brian May's packaged up, because he's worked with them. He's packaged up sims of all his pedals and all his amps and all his IRs and everything. So you can get his rig, or Slash has done the same thing. So you
or a
can get
Fender pack, or a Marshall pack, or specific.
So you add them bits at a time. what you've got 2 Marshalls, you've got 2 Fenders, and you've got the Soldano as well, which with one of them had there was a Soldano was unlocked, wasn't it? Because that was actually up on screen. So,
Yeah.
you know, to be honest with you, I look at that and go, well, what else do you need?
Yeah.
I spent $100 on Bias Effect, and I only used 3 amps.
Yeah. I mean, they're all good systems. I mean, don't get me wrong, they are all good systems, but I've not paid a penny for my amp sims.
I bought those amps.
Don't see why I need to. Yeah. I mean, I will if I ever use them to make money with, I'll be dropping sort of dosh on them. But at the moment, given the fact that what I'm doing, free amp sim, free door.
Yeah.
I don't really need anything else like this. I don't think the results I'm getting are so appalling that I need to rethink my strategy on that.
There are a lot of free amps.
Oh man.
Yeah.
The Poulon,
Blue Cat, loads of them.
Yeah. Ignite amps, Poulon, both have amazing sounding. I mean,
isn't
they're
amazing. Neural amps free?
Yeah, you can download a 2-week trial of any Neural DSP VST, but I fair warning, and Hurricane brought it up very well, and that is the iLock license stuff.
Oh shit!
And I'll just tell you, I've done it enough. I bought enough of them that I can make. It is no issue for me to download a new program, and I'll be buying the Gojira DSP simply for the built-in Digitech whammy pedal, which I own one. But having it in my DAW and right there and programmable with a MIDI controller, I used it on a cover of a Madonna tune that none of you have heard yet. That it was just remarkable. That Gojira plugin is wow. I mean, the stuff. So, Neural DSP is totally demoable, and you do have to do the iLock thing and prepare for that. I bought my brother-in-law, literally our birthday was on the same day. We had a big party last weekend, and my birthday gift to him was Archetype Nolly. I bought it for him. So now he has that. And the cool thing about that, you've all heard his voice on several of the songs that you've played on the show, Jeff. All the guitar tones on that are Neural DSP, either an Archetype Nolly or other plugins.
Yeah.
So
there are one of the good ways to find out is whoever you like that you're listening to, right? In the community, especially because you can ask them, is like, if you like Marshall's tones, if you think he's got really kicking tones, which I do, then, just, okay, he's using that. Right. All I need to do then is just transplant his fingers onto my hands and I can sound like Marshall, right? So that's pretty cool. And, same thing. If I want to sound like Preston, if I want to get that chug, that delicious full chug, I can just ask him what he's using, and that's how you find out about these things. It's like what people, Moon has just said what he's using. He uses various different things for whatever, but that means that those sounds, that kind of layering is all done with that software, and it's just the learning curve of learning to use it, But I just say jump in with any, it doesn't matter what you get. As long as, I haven't found anything that's so horrifically bad that it would put people off amp sims forever. They're generally quite reasonable, quite usable, even down to little simple things like I keep talking about.
Unless you go back 20 years and try and use one of those now.
For now, Tonebridge Guitar Effects do this great little plugin, which is, I think, on iOS.
I do have that.
Yeah, have you got that? I think I don't know if I was going to say, did they do it on PC? But that's just brilliant, because if you just want to plug in, click a button and go straight away, and you know what you want to sound like. Say you want to sound like AC/DC today, or you want to sound like Black Sabbath, you just, there you go. Click a button and you're done,
So what do you think? What do you think of that?
I think I would say that to that.
There you go. Yeah, that would work.
Yeah, that'll do it.
I love
feedback. Yeah, I can get it without anything on my modeler.
This is just one of the best. I saw Paul Gilbert do a demo of this thing, and I watched him play it, and the way that sounded, I was like, I was sold instantly. And this thing gives you that amp feedback at the push of a button, and you can hold it and release it, or you can set the tempo, the time that it takes for the feedback to emerge. It's not pretty realistic. This is realistic. Like you would never know. And I've used it in many of the recordings that you have all listened to. It's on, this pedal is on almost every recording that I do. There's a little tweak here and there, just maybe a chirp or something, but I do sympathize with you, Jimmy, on that. There's nothing like playing through a Mesa dual rec through a 412 that's turned up to 11. I mean, and you get that squeal, that chirp, that scream, the pick harmonics, all that stuff, man. But amp stems,
you're getting better.
They are getting better. You can do a bit. It's just not as responsive, and
well, if I want to play my amp, I'll go to the bar. You know, I still have an amp for that. You know, my noise to move that air.
But that's a very good point. So that's why you never hear that. You never hear feedback, and very rarely will hear anything like a pinched harmonic and stuff I do, because I don't have the equipment that really gets that. I can fake it a little bit, but it's a bit of a big stick. You know, whereas what Marshall just showed you is the refined way of doing it. But it's a different mechanism. You're not moving the guitar, you're moving your foot. So you got to learn to use it differently.
Well, and there's also well, I call it an old trick because I've been using it for a long time, is to take a set of headphones, turn them up as loud as they'll go, set it down in front of your guitar amp and set it on your leg literally and play your guitar with your guitar sound blasting at you out of your studio monitors, and you can get feedback to
exactly like feedback. I can also get a really good pinch harmonic, but that's more of my finger problem. If I don't get a pinch harmonic, it's probably my fault.
Yes. Yeah. There's that. Hurricane saying if you use an amp in his little man cave, then his wife would murder him. I think that's probably true for
I just get the cops called. That's easier.
Yeah. And Hurricane, that's the big reason that I use amp sims. I mean, that's I won't say it's the only reason, but I do live in an apartment. And guess how many complaints I've had about noise? Yeah, 0. No one has ever complained. And you've heard the songs that I produce, and a lot of it's pretty friggin' heavy, in my opinion. And nobody ever complains because I can record with that glorious Taj Mahal sound in my headphones if I want to, and just play as heavy as I want and get in the groove. And again, the reason I bought the Neural DSP stuff is because of the response of it, that being so virtually, not virtually, it is fucking identical to an amp.
It's sound waves. You're just moving them through signal.
It's amazing.
What's a guitar signal? It's a voltage in a cable.
Yeah.
And then you're manipulating that.
Yeah. And whether you're using software or whether you're using circuitry, you're still just manipulating a voltage in a cable, really.
Yeah.
It's creating the sound.
Hey, Ed.
Yeah. I get that, but like Jimmy was saying, man, to what effect? I mean, where's that gray line of, hey, I'm not using an amp anymore, and hey, I'm using Sims, man? When does that? I mean, does anybody like you're saying, Ian? Does anybody really know? Yeah. Anybody really tell?
Not anymore. People are putting amp sims and
go watch Metallica concert.
Power Lab in their bag, and they can power a 412 cabinet. With
I think it's already gone past the point where I think we've gone way past the line.
People have been using Axe effects in their rigs for 10 years now.
And I think really what it boils down to is, what do you like to do? How do you like to work? And it's us as players. The listener isn't going to hear the difference. They're not going to hear the difference, no matter how refined they are, no matter how well educated they have become, no matter how much they know, and they can know a heck of a lot. They're never going to hear the difference. But the player is going to feel the difference, because that's what a player does. Yeah. So we feel it. So if you like it, if you like your amp, and Squire, never get rid of your Fender. No, absolutely. Keep hold of that. You got to, that's one heck of a piece of kit. and I know what it feels like to play those things.
Well, I know
And-
real amps will always be around. They'll always
there's
be
something
around.
about
Speakers
it
will
when
always
it
need
makes a
to model.
loud noise and it's in your ears and it's moving the air. But you can get that with your monitors. You can get that if we. You can get that.
PA.
Yeah,
for sure.
And the sound of the speakers that you get in the traditional amps, the IRs now are at such a point that if you recorded it, you couldn't tell the difference. You could not tell the difference.
No.
You know.
No, if anyone could pick the difference between an amp sim and a real amplifier recording, there isn't. Nobody can. There's no way you would ever know if you didn't see the actual recording take place and know the signal chain. There is no way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Did you see those blind studies that Anderton's did a few years ago? And Anderton was really upset that he couldn't tell the difference.
Yeah.
He's like, so I just spent like thousands of dollars on these amps and I don't need them. We're like, whoa, dude, you just keep them. You're good. It's all right.
Well, there's a certain something to be said when you turn things up. If you're using if you've got, for instance, if you actually went out and bought a Marshall 800 instead of the one that came in Amplitube, the model of it, you could turn that thing up and point it out of your door and frighten the bears for 10 miles. You know, it's like and it would sound glorious. And then you put it through your speakers, that your monitors, and go, it doesn't quite sound the same. It's not moving the same amount of air, but your tone would be there at a much lower volume.
Yeah.
So, you know, and the thrill of something really loud is great until you reach 57 and your hearing starts to go.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I own a JCM 800. I can't imagine ever needing to use it again. And I regretfully say that, but we've come to the age of silent stages, aside from a drummer banging their brains out. That's what the world has come to. I mean, even in the last, in my world of doing covers, starting in about 2009, I was playing in a band in Portland, Oregon, and I never took a speaker cabinet with me to a gig, ever. I had zero need to pack that piece of equipment into the gig. I have a DI out the back of my Hughes and Kettner. It's a red box DI. It's one of the best cab emulated. It's one of the first and probably the best. And you can't choose other cabinets. That's what you get. Well, shit, like you're going to take a 412 to a gig and then not like it and swap it out for a different one? Okay, dude. What, are you Eddie Van Halen or Angus Young? What? No. So silent stages have been a part of my guitar playing world for a long time. Well over 10 years. I just don't take a cabinet with me. I've got my own powered monitor, and that's what my guitar comes through, and it's pointed right at me. It's not pointed at the audience, so I don't have that direct guitar blowing the first 4 rows of the audience out of their brains, because it's got to be that loud so I can hear myself over the drummer, you know. Or I get the chance, the opportunity with the bands that I play in to mix my own monitor mix exactly the way I want it, and it's loud as fuck, man. And it's not bothering anybody because it's loud at me. It's not loud at the audience. What's going out through the mains is probably quieter than what's coming out of my monitor in most cases.
See, Marshall, in-ear monitoring is our friend.
Yeah. 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 I think a lot of that, John Petrucci has those subs that they built for him so that he can feel the guitar sound with his in-ear monitors. And I think part of my, developing this quiet stage was
Jimmy.
Part of my developing the quiet stage was to get my volume right through a monitor, and number one, to buy a really killer floor monitor that just sounds great.
Exactly.
And so that's my take.
Yeah. I mean, I don't, again, Dwight's saying here that he plays out in the fields because he's in the South and you need at least a 4x12. Yeah, absolutely. But, I'm not.
Like
Well,
children
I
in the
never play
corner.
it.
Children
Yeah, I
in the
never
corner
really
kind of
play it on the field.
stuff.
Although the
Yeah.
only complaint I've ever had about noise, Marshall's saying how many complaints. I've had one complaint about noise, and that was when I was doing mix downs through my flat response, and I really turned it up loud. And my neighbour, who is also our hairdresser, complained that she couldn't hear it well enough, so she wanted me to turn it up.
Right.
That's the only complaint, was it was too quiet, which I think was
That's funny. Why can't I
Yeah.
have neighbors like that?
Take care, Mooney.
Yeah.
Hey Wes, leave me send me a
American
song
soldier.
for tomorrow, bro. Send me an original for tomorrow, Wes. All right, man.
You realize it's 3 o'clock in the morning at the moment, Jeff, which means that he's going to have to spend the next 3 hours writing, recording it, and doing the video to upload it in time.
Yeah.
Hi, American soldier.
That'll learn you. Yeah.
Hey, good night, Moon.
Yeah, leave me a song for tomorrow, bro. Send me something, man. Yeah, if you guys got original tunes and stuff you want played tomorrow, just send them to me. Because I've been
Scaring the neighbor's horse.
Yeah.
Kept leaving the paddock.
Horses are scared anyway most of the time.
They're a little skittish.
Yeah.
Hurricane Moon, what video did you leave it on, bro? Because I didn't catch it. If you could send it again, I'd appreciate it, bro.
I have to call him.
Mm-hmm. So I'm curious, Jeff, on the 4i4 that you have that running right now, and you're running through it at this point?
Yeah.
Okay. And are there any, I mean, you're ultimately using the same audio interface as mine. It's just fewer channels, which, my stuff's usually bigger than everybody's, but I joke. But
but the likelihood of you having 6 musicians come in to do a live recording is probably a little higher than Jeff, who needs it for broadcasting.
Yeah, I can get a lot of channels into my interface or into my DAW, but I'm wondering if you're having any questions, because I'm pretty well experienced with the Scarlett and the Focusrite mix control.
Mm-hmm.
There is some trippy stuff in that I am a little bit stumped by, but I don't have to mess with it because it just works for what I do in my workflow.
Mm-hmm.
But I have gone in there and changed some settings in there to make it work for me. So I'm curious if you had any questions.
Yeah. No, not particularly, but
okay.
Once I get when we were using the Amplitube stuff, Mooney, I got you, man. Don't worry about it. I'll find the video. When me and Ian were using Amplitube, like I said, he couldn't hear anything, but what I was hearing over here was
I gotta check on something again.
What I was hearing over here was a step above anything that I've ever thought artificially generated music could sound like.
Yeah, it can. I mean, it can be that. I mean, I know that has the effect, because it had the effect on me when I stepped back into Amp Sims. It had been a few years, and they had improved so much that it was literally my jaw dropped open. It was one of those moments where it's like, oh, I get it now. I can use this.
That when I played that, I mean, you were watching me. I mean, you could see this somewhat the surprise I had. And I'm like,
it's the joy in your voice. There was a kind of childlike delight in the fact that, oh my God, that sounds the way I wanted it to sound.
Yeah.
And it's like, we've all been there. So that was a personal triumph moment for me. I badgered him into getting this, and eventually we get to the point where he's going, oh yeah, right, this is great. So yeah.
Yeah, it was it was Black Sabbath in D standard, the way I've never heard it before, the way I play it. It made, I mean, honestly, I mean, Ian probably couldn't hear it, but I was feeling the tone to the point where I knew I was playing better, and it sounded better because the tone I was feeling from my Black Star and any other thing that I tried to get Black Sabbath tones from, except for my Orange with a nice fuzz pedal in C standard, or C sharp. That was the first thing that the tone, it was just like there, man. And when I was playing Children of the Grave, part of that, and Sabbath Bloody Sabbath and Paranoid, it's just like, whoa, man, this sounds better than I've ever played it. And because the tone was making me feel the actual song, you know what I'm saying? So I was feeling Sabbath when I did that. It sounded to me like better than I've ever been able to push it.
Yeah.
So
which is where the tone coming from your fingers bit comes from, because you feed back off your own playing. You know, I mean, I'm not a guitarist. I'm a singer and a bass player originally. Guitar is something that I tend to always do because I need it to support the voice. So although I love guitar and I kind of can get geeky about it, I'm not in a position, or I'm not at the level where I can really claim to be a guitarist. But I understand that feeling of it just taking you away. And if you can get that with a sim, my view would be, if you can get that with a sim and it's the first time you've ever experienced it and you've tried real amps, that's a big pointer as to how good they can be. And your next step will be to treat yourself to, once you've gotten used to the idea of and whether it is going to work for you, treat yourself to either to some of the packs that came with it, if you like Amplitude, or to DSP, which I would say is probably your best bet. Just go for what Marshall said, just the novelty. Because everybody I've ever spoken to and everyone I've ever heard who uses that, they all sound bloody brilliant, and they all tell you it's absolutely excellent. So when people who are really playing, who you meet and chat with in chat, not people you're looking at videos and you're thinking, did they, have they been paid to say this, or did they get sent a free copy of it? When Marshall tells you it's the best thing since sliced bread, and you hear the stuff he does, again, it's a big indicator as to how these things are working.
Well, I attribute that to Marshall being an awesome player and stuff like that. That being able to make something sound good is just inherent because of his playing style is good, and he's been doing it for a long time. So I add that in there to that. I don't so much add the fact that he's using something digital or something physical as far as an amp and this and that. But when he tells me that, that wasn't on an amp, that was DSP, it's like, wow. I mean, not that your playing doesn't override what you were using. It just enhanced it, and it's surprising to know that you used that instead of what the standard is with amps and everything else. Even knowing that you're an awesome player and whatnot, to know that you're using something digital to make that sound above and beyond your own skill level is something, that's amazed me, man. Now I understand.
I can tell you that it took me some time to psychologically get in that space because I'm thinking, I mean, okay. For instance, the song "Your Hate" that you've played on your show many times, my brother-in-law sang it and wrote the lyrics for it, and it's me playing a Les Paul in my basement apartment when I lived down there. That was my Hughes and Kettner through pedals. That's not Neural DSP plugins on that. Okay. That's an older recording. I did it 2 or 3 years ago before I had really dove into Neural DSP stuff. I don't remember the exact date. Almost everything post that moment, if you listen to that song and then listen to something else that I've produced, you'll hear not an amp sim and then an amp sim. And there was quite a bit of time between those two because I really had to get my mind in a place where my psychology or my brain wasn't going, you're playing through an amp sim, so this sucks. Right. Yeah. And so that's something that I think a lot of guitar players really need to consider when stepping into that world of amp sims, is to, keep an open mind. I can't say, I don't think there's any better way to say it, but yeah, it took me some time to I was definitely hesitant, but I'll also add that I played through an Axe FX 1. My buddy Pat Ryan bought one the day they came out. He had one with the atomic wedges, and I got to play through this, whatever they were, $4,000 piece of equipment to play my guitar through. Mm-hmm. And I knew then that amp sims were no joke. That would have been in 2010, 9-ish. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I played through the original Axe FX before any of this modern technology and stuff came along. They've advanced far beyond that. So I had some experience with it, but I stuck with my amp. I stuck with my tube amplifier, and I love that fucking thing. Don't get me wrong. I will never get rid of that amp. My daughter's going to end up with it when I'm gone. So, and I still to this day will use it on occasion just to remind myself what it feels like to play through tubes. And that's no joke. It's hooked up right now. Mm-hmm. I turn it on, play through it.
Yeah.
So,
see, I come from a different angle, not having been a guitarist, but having been a bass player, and they were always into solid state and stuff anyway. So it was always slightly different with the way that your mindset on that. And being a singer and then wanting to me, it was never an issue because I've actually never really owned a good guitar amp. I mean, I've got a Roland Micro Cube, which is a great little amp for practice. It's just so I could plug it into something, but I've never really owned a good guitar amp. So to me, it was a complete no-brainer. As soon as I heard it through the headphones, it was just like, okay, that's done. I'm dusted. I don't have to spend £1,000. I can do it free. It's like, well, that's a no-brainer at all. You know? But then I'm not gigging. I don't have to, and even if I was these days, I wouldn't go through an amp anyway. I'd do exactly what you take your system along and get the sound guys to put that through the desk. That's the way, and then give you a monitor feedback. And I've done sound enough to know that they can do that. So
I have a Scarlett 2i2 also that I could take my laptop and my
it's not ideal. And if I was going to do it regularly, I'd come up with a different system. Probably, but I'd probably end up, like you say, with a head rush or something like that. I'd probably use something like that.
Right.
Do it that way. But to me, amps aren't a thing.
Yeah. Well,
I kind of get.
There's also the idea of when you're playing live for the audience to see an amplifier on stage. Mm-hmm. That there's an aspect of that I think is really important for the crowd, including them and them seeing you playing through an actual amplifier. So that's part of it. There is a show. You got to produce a show if you're going to go out. It's like what's his name was playing. He always dresses up and looks nicer than anyone in the audience. Well, that's been a rule of mine from day one. Mm-hmm. Make yourself put some fucking eyeliner on, make yourself look different, put it on and produce a show. And it means producing yourself. Well, having an amp sitting back there looks really fucking cool and it's sexy. Yeah. So, there's something.
I'm an 80s dude. So not having the amp and still having the sound, that was like magic. That would be like magic. So you kind of hid the amp in a way to say, I just make this stuff happen because I'm an alien, that kind of thing.
There's nothing sexy about a fat 56-year-old one-legged hippie on stage. I was just thinking
with eyeliner on. Absolutely.
Not even with eyeliner, bro. Not even on my best hair day. I'm like, hey, baby, what's up, man?
Yeah.
Just one word. Lemmy.
I kid.
Yeah, Squire.
I can't pull sexy off no mo. I just can't do it.
Come on now.
I might get my mustache looking halfway good, and once in a while, and my hair might shine a little brighter one day than the next. But that's about it, man.
Right.
But we can still do the show. Meatloaf didn't exactly look like Errol Flynn, but he still did the show. And you can still, you know, we all dress up and put wigs on and do crazy stuff. It's not because we think we look good. You believe me, it's not that. That's not the reason.
Like that
guy. Yeah, I mean, it's so that people will have fun and will laugh with you. Not, you know, if they're laughing at you, who cares? Laughter's good. It's like, but they're laughing with you because we're not taking it seriously.
Take a joke.
Yeah, I just think that sooner or later the house band has to have first dibs on Hippie's guitar playing for the first collab. Sorry, but I just have to declare that now as fait accompli. But you know,
if there's something that I can add to it, once I get things dialed in or dialed up, whatever way you want to look at it. Once I get something dialed in, if you have a few riffs or something that I can pull off in a song, I'll definitely do it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I sent you a video and an audio of a riff that I wrote for you. I don't know, what was it, 2 months ago?
Yeah.
You could have pulled that off in a heartbeat, man. It was heavy.
Yeah, I'm looking at it, bro.
Yeah,
and you wouldn't believe how busy I am for real, man. I mean, this is a luxury right here. This extra time right here,
dude. I hear you.
And after this tonight, I got to put together my whole Friday show. I only got like 9 songs, so I need about at least another 20 originals. I mean, I know I got a lot of music to pull from in the community and stuff, but I'm gonna have to put that show together on the fly and stuff. But I do want to get some stuff together. So if you guys want something played, just let me know. Drop me an email. We'll get it on there.
Yeah, tube amps like the back, the bench seat in the car.
Yeah.
Tube amps lead you to landing on the bench seat in a car with a lady.
Yeah.
You know.
See,
I hear you.
A microphone does the same thing.
Yeah, you got exactly.
And generally way more phallic as well. So you know.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Okay, well, what's the real reason that you started off in music? If you're honest.
Me?
And if you were a teenager when you started to take music seriously, and you're honest about your real motives, and you're a guy, it's because
that's void anyway, dude. Because at a teenage, you don't need a guitar to be horny then, man, or to even tail.
You do to be successful.
My first teacher wouldn't teach me unless I told him I wanted it for girls.
In my experience, that's the only reason anyone ever joins a band. It's like
I was like, well, you know, I just want to learn, you know, something new, blah blah, another art. He goes, no, I'm not doing it. All right, fine, it's for girls. All right, I'll teach you. Okay. Whatever.
I think I can honestly say that was definitely not a reason I played guitar.
It's not why I started.
You know, I honestly can say that, and I have buddies that would admit, man, my buddy was playing in a band and he was getting laid all the time, and they were doing gigs. Like that's why I picked one up. You know, I mean, that story's been told how many times, but I don't think that was certainly not.
Off.
Yeah. My dad showed me an E chord, and that was it.
I am right.
Lady in the house. In the house.
I have to admit, I always loved singing, and I was always in choirs and things like that. But when I was a teenager, the reason I stopped doing music that my family approved of and started to do rock and stuff was purely because girls weren't paying me any attention at all. And as soon as I stood up, grabbed the microphone and sang, I had to beat them off with a stick. So that was for me as a 14-year-old, 15-year-old, that was the entire reason for anything. It made absolute sense to me that this should be the way it was. You know, so music was it was later on, you know, that I then began to love it. So
yeah. Yeah, I was a little kid, man. It was all it took. I heard that first E chord, and it was like, oh, that was it. And I remember it like literally like it happened 2 seconds ago. I'm still sitting on the floor, and my dad showed me that chord, and it was like, and I didn't ever really look any other direction. I stuck with it. At 6 years old, I just kept going. Anytime there was a guitar in my presence, I was on it. I wanted to play that thing and make it make sound. So, and of course, you know, you know, I met my ex-wife playing guitar, and you know, she was stunning, and we're still great friends. But man alive, it, you know, proof in the pudding. You can get, you know, it is an attractive thing. You know, but again, there's something sexy about having an amp behind you. And, you know, if you're going to go do a gig with a Helix on the floor and no amplifier, take an amp head and plug it in and put it on a chair, at least look the part, you know, Angus Young or metal bands have been doing that for decades. The big wall of plywood amps.
Yeah, empty cases.
Who wants to tell Emery what we're talking about?
What are we talking about? We're talking about gear.
No, we're not talking about the, you know,
why we turned on to guitar.
Oh yeah, why we became musicians.
No.
Emery, you're why we became guitar players.
Yeah. Good stuff.
What does that say about me that I became a singer?
You still had to beat them off with a stick.
Yeah, but you know.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this stuff. Day late and $1 short, ain't you, Francis? He was in a cuddle puddle.
Jack is absolutely right with that one.
I wasn't in a cuddle puddle. I was live on Lori's show, man.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Sorry, bro.
I made a fool of myself. I was playing a game where I had to guess songs and stuff, but it was all like songs from the 70s, like piano songs, and that's really not me. I did terrible. But I think I made everybody laugh, right? Who do I see here? Emery, Jack, they all saw me. I'm sure they had a good laugh at me. Oh, Tina's here too, yeah.
Hey, what's that? Don't mind me. I'm just trying to there we go. We'll do it that way. Looks a little better that way.
So how you guys doing? Did you guys get the? I heard
we're all there. No.
I passed in a couple of times. I saw you put your cloud lifter to your microphone now, right?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. And are you going through the Scarlett right now?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, everything's. I mean, me and Ian were talking for a little while earlier today, man. While I was hooking all this up and getting everything final tuning the connection and stuff, and trying out a few things like the monitors, making sure they work good and stuff like that.
I'm curious where your gain control is on your Scarlett at this point with the cloud lifter.
What it was before I put the cloud lifter on was damn near maxed out, and that was just barely adequate to get the tone right where it's at right about now. I could get by talking into this. Here, I'm going to give you a little thing here. Okay, this right here is on 12 o'clock right now.
Dude.
Okay, that's 12 o'clock. Now, where I was at 2 o'clock. So this is 12 o'clock. This is 12 o'clock.
2 o'clock?
This is 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
This is 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
Now, which one sounded better? Did it lift it up a little bit?
Yeah, 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock is where the sweet spot is on that. Definitely.
Yeah, so I'm hitting right about. Actually, I'm about 145, 135 maybe.
You're also a little bit closer to the microphone than you were before.
Exactly.
So and it'll give you. You see, that's the thing. It'll give you a much more intimate approach to the voice response to the frequencies that you're producing. If you do that. So if you push it to around somewhere between 2 and 3, when we were doing the test this afternoon, just sounded crystal clear and really resonant. So, you know, and that's that kind of, it just made the voice sound very resonant.
So your gain control through the Scarlett 4i4 is at noon right now, correct?
No, it's about just before 2 at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about 1:30, almost 2 o'clock.
All right. So we're talking into virtually the same exact microphone within a couple of cents, but my gain control on my 18i20 Scarlett interface that has the exact same preamps in it as your 4i4. There is zero difference. I'm at 4 o'clock.
Okay.
Right.
To get this kind of volume.
Yeah.
And I'm, a fist or so away from the microphone.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
Jeff's
and
generally
yours-
about 2 fists away. So,
Yeah. So
and
you
you
got
can
a
hear
lot more gain.
you've also got a lot
Emery,
more
that's
resonance.
set
to
up
the
by
voice.
Marshall.
Yeah.
What's that?
Emery was asking who that was. You are.
Oh.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Oh, the other Mark's just saying mic technique. We've spoken a lot about mic
Yes.
technique.
Yes.
And that's the thing that's going to make the difference between the clarity of your voice and how you come across with your personality. It's acting, and it's the same deal with any microphone. You need to learn what overloads it and how far you can push it, how low you can speak before it disappears, and what you need to do with your voice and the turning of your head to make that happen. And those are just things you just play with until you're happy to do it, just whatever.
Yeah.
But the main thing is you listen to the difference between Marshall's voices, his comes through his system, and yours, you've got this rounded, resonant quality to it because you've got that extra clean 25 dB lift.
Yeah.
So,
I can tell when Marshall talks. His system
You're a little further from your mic, too.
trying to push his voice out there, man.
Yeah.
And yet, if Marshall lets rip into that microphone because it's a vocal and it's mainly a singing microphone, it'll handle it.
Yeah.
But then so will yours, because we did those pop tests earlier where you were raising your voice quite a lot. Yeah, it still didn't overload it. You still got clarity, but you could tell that the voice was raised.
Yeah, I'm right up on it.
And none of that's really popping that
pickled
much.
peppers. I'm not getting any plosives out of this right now. None.
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys hear.
No, it doesn't sound like any.
Yeah, that is why I was so hot on this microphone. I've sang into this so much that you don't need to use a pop filter. You don't have to have that whole thing in your way. It doesn't pop. You've got a long distance from the actual diaphragm on the mic. They're engineered for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They were engineered for radio producers to be able to speak into them like this and not have to yell. And they're just clear as a bell. And I have no EQ, no compression, no nothing on my voice. I'm right on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, and they just
Same
sound
with
amazing.
pop, but I don't use it.
Yeah. Yeah, if you've got enough distance and a little bit of mic etiquette, and don't say your P's like you're blowing up the neighborhood. There's,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, my voice is kind of like level monotone, more or less.
Yep.
Often depends how dry my throat is when I'm
later, Emery.
But
take care, Emery.
Take care, Emery.
And yes, we love you, ladies.
Yeah. Definitely.
If he looks like a roadie.
Explosives. Explosives.
Like a road.
He does. Totally, man. You need the back. You need the back harness.
Yeah. Yeah. Safety vest. Oh man. Jack Flash, what's up, buddy? What's going on? Emery, you have a good night, man. Emery got her clock clean. Her niece and nephew cleaned her up at Monopoly, man. So that's not too good for somebody who wants to be a real estate agent.
Yeah. God, I haven't played Monopoly for a long time. That'd be fun. I guarantee I wouldn't win, but I would play.
Yeah.
I used to love that game. My mom was the one that always threw it across the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was not a good winner. Or a loser, I should say. Bad winner, sore loser.
So, Jeff, I have a question for you, and that is, are you, when you're sitting down to play guitar now, are you using Amplitube for your guitar sounds, or are you considering playing through your Black Star anymore? Where are you at with that?
What it is I'm going to have to get a separate system or a separate screen set up so that I can keep that stuff loaded and running. My big thing is getting the energy to reach over and turn the thing on and get away from normalcy of life, meaning doing this, doing that, and watching Netflix or watching YouTube videos and stuff. So as long as I have another screen that I can just take my mouse and go click, let me pick up my guitar, boom, and mute that stuff and do this. Once I get a 2-screen situation set up, probably, yeah, I'll do that. But if I have to like shut down my show, gear up Amplitude, pick up an amp, do this, do that, it may be few and far in between. Then I'll still probably play my amp. But if I once I get everything set up to the point where it's like a little mini home studio kind of thing, once I get it all set up and I'm just a mouse click or two away, I can just go Amplitude, boom, click, boom, and that's it.
Although
all you got to do
it's only
is turn my volume up.
It's only using 6% of your CPU, so you could run it in the background.
Exactly.
I mean, it's only a matter of opening the app and it comes up in front window. For the purposes of playing, if you're not broadcasting at the same time, it's not going to be
I do kind of have to feel like it's separate because this is the one screen is my entire entertainment center and my whole everything. So if I could separate the Amplitube in its own screen and put the mouse on that and click that and just turn away from that,
take care, Jack.
When you get
you too American,
when you get a second monitor, you're going to find that your show is going to occupy space on that one too. And I promise that is, dude, I've got 3 of them going right now. And the moment I got all 3 of them, I was like, that's way too much. Man, I wish I had 4.
Yeah, screen
yeah. It's pretty cool to have that, but having that space, I get it.
If I tell you I have approximately 3/4 of a monitor working, and because I smashed my laptop, and so I've got a borrowed screen that only kind of like does 3/4 of it because it's an old screen. This is a relatively new Mac, so screen real estate. I have become the master of the Command Alt function to switch between windows. You just like it's. The computer actually doesn't really care where it is. It doesn't care which screen it's on. Only you care about that. That's and I get it. I do really get that. But
hey, good night, Jack.
Yeah, you take care. I hope the pain in the back is getting better.
What do you
I
guys
might not
like
be
better?
able to stay
you
long
guys like
either.
that view better?
I just gotta wait.
It works.
Sorry, I might not be able to stay too long.
Do you like the square view better, the Hollywood squares, or do you like the
This one's fine.
It looks
this
okay.
one fills the screen.
It's just
looks great.
It's just when I do this over here, because I have StreamYards running a smaller screen, occupying less space, it makes you guys look smaller. So when I look at you this way, I can see you guys better over here.
It's better like this because you don't see the hole in my wall.
I always work on the principle that further away is always better from my perspective. I think I look better at a distance. The bigger the distance, the better I look.
Fine, Ian.
I need to turn off lights to look better.
Oh God.
Yes. I look fabulous in pitch black.
Yeah. Girls.
So I heard you. Was it yesterday you were saying that? I think because I watched your rerun a bit of your hang last night, and there was a song that Lori was playing in her show just before, and it was a bread song, and I heard that you conceived your son to a bread song.
Oh, Cancellation, yeah.
You had a cuddle puddle. You were saying.
Yeah. I was telling Ian some of that story. I was talking to Ian earlier today about some of my kids and how that was how my oldest one came about. But yeah, she was a bread fan, or girls, the swoony kind of stuff like that. But yeah,
hey, Jeff,
it was an old cassette we had laying around at the time, so we kind of went in there.
Tomorrow you have to remember to sing happy birthday to Tina. She's going to be watching from work. Before she leaves work, she's going to turn on the show to hear you sing happy birthday to her.
I might rip her.
I don't care. Go for it. I'll laugh, man.
Rip her up good. I don't know. Now you got me thinking, man. See, when I get put in the spot, I can't. It's like Marshall. I probably could have came up with a ton of shit for Marshall, but when you put me on the spot, it's like.
I saw that invite for the Lori's show tonight for music trivia or name that tune or whatever the case might be. It's interesting being a musician how it's such a small amount of music that I listen to in reality of other bands, because I've been primarily in my life as an original artist, and so and I literally think about it. I'm like, God, I never just put a record on and listen to the fucking thing. I almost never do that. How
often do you go through the last 4 that you've produced to make sure they sit nicely together?
What? Say again?
So how often do you put your own playlist on, play the last 4 you just did, just to make sure they sit nicely together?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that we do all the time.
I listen to you guys' stuff more than you do.
Yeah, actually, no, I doubt it. If you listen to the amount of times that you listen to a song when you're mixing it down is ridiculous. Geez. It's ridiculous. So in a way, you have to love the song to go through that process. You have to want that song to be just to go through that process.
Yeah.
And I watch each of my shows. I watch your video when you make it. I select it and I watch it again. I put it on the show. I watch it again. After the show, I watch it again. And then maybe 3 or 4 times after that, I may catch that song in another video that I rewatch again. So every song that you guys put on the show, I probably watch minimum 6 to 8 times.
Yeah, that probably is more than most people, I would think.
Did you see the new one I just put out today?
No, not yet. I got to get to it, man.
That's 0.02% of the time that any one of us listens to that song mixing it.
Yeah.
Literally,
yeah.
Ongoing joke. Mix 3.074.54 7.3. Crazy.
By the time you put out a song, you don't want to hear it anymore because you've heard it so much.
Yeah, pretty much. And you're really convinced that everyone's going to see through you on this one because you've heard every single mistake you've made on it.
Yeah, but that's being critical of it. I'm talking about the actual finished product and stuff.
Yeah.
For somebody to want to listen to your stuff or even have the inkling to want to listen to your stuff 8 or 9 times or select it to be played that many times tells you something about the quality of the song in itself. So, I'm not saying I'm a great music connoisseur or anything like that, or even a cork sniffer. Hey, this shit's good. You better believe me, or whatever. But no, man, it's like if something's good and I want to play it, I play it, and if it fits the show, even though it's most radio stations, whatever, will play a song, they'll wear it out until it's done. But they do it for the wrong reasons. They do it for commercial revenue and whatnot for the artist and their station. But me, I do it because I think what you guys are putting out, majority of it and stuff, is worthy of being heard more than just 1 or 2 times and stuff. So I do bring, like Marshall, I'll bring him up
Rick
every once in a while, 2 or 3 times a month, and then I'll catch one of you guys and stuff. But again, still, I don't want to wear anybody out. So some people I'll give a rest, and then it seems like all week I'm playing one guy or a couple guys, and then I'll give them a rest for a while and just move on to somebody else.
Yeah. I don't know. Rick just said start doubting your work, self-defeating. In the end, that we are the master. Actually, I don't want to ever get to a point where I'm completely happy with it, because at that point I'll stop trying. Because I'll have got there. And I enjoy doing it so much. I love it so much that I don't want to stop trying. I don't want to stop meaning it, and I don't want to stop being sincere. And the word I always tend to think works best is that when you mean something and when you're sincere about it, it has authenticity. And that to me is worth more in music. If I hear a song and it's authentic and I know the person meant it, it's going to touch me much more. So I never really want to reach the point where I've got there. I don't want that. There's always another mountain to climb, and the fun is in the journey, not getting there. Get there, and it's a case, well, I'll stop now then. You know.
Well, you're always going to have everything that anybody does always has a flaw in it somewhere. Anybody can find a flaw in it.
Mm-hmm.
But there are certain cuts that you guys make that are a step above your normal and do deserve to shine, man. I mean, you got to give yourself even credit for that. That, hey, man, I mean, I used to draw a lot when I used to do a lot of tattoo flashing stuff way back in the day and stuff, fresh out of prison, drew on envelopes, all that stuff. There's time, there's times when I know there's times I'm making carbon copy stuff. It's like, yep, did it before. And not too special. Yeah, I can do that. I can do that stuff. Old hat.
For every piece of art I have, I've thrown out 10.
Yeah, that's what I'm
like
saying.
that dragon, right?
Yeah. I'm just laughing there that you said that there are some that shine. Thank you.
Cool.
The name
That's
of my
nice,
last
man.
song.
Yeah,
that's very nice.
Thank you. No, I like that. Preston, that's really nice. Nice
for every piece of art, though, there's a piece of art under this, right? That I destroyed, and there's a piece of art under those, because every time I don't like something, I just cover it up, get rid of it, start over, make something new.
Yeah,
art's different though. It's not music.
Yeah, but music. I mean, music isn't.
Music.
I mean, it
It
is.
is, but you can make slight alterations without deleting the whole piece. Unlike me, I delete the whole piece, right?
I got it.
Yeah, it's a different process. But I said this to Jeff earlier, and I've said it. I know I've said it to Francis. I've said it to a lot of people. All art is the creation of an emotional landscape. That's all you're doing. Every single artist creates an emotional landscape that the viewer or the listener wouldn't be experiencing unless they had created that art to be viewed.
It's authentic if you write what you want to hear.
Yeah. And if you then mean it, and if it comes from a place of
yours,
truth,
it comes from you and your experiences. You're not trying to draw from somebody else's.
Yeah.
Nobody really walks in somebody else's shoes anyway. You can be empathetic, I mean, of course, but we can only draw from our own.
Yes, exactly. You can only tell your own story.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carrie and Anthony, man, you guys put out some good stuff, man.
Yeah.
I mean, for anybody that writes an original song and has the balls to publish it and put it out to the public, man, regardless of what you think of your own music, if it gets views and acclaim and comments, people are digging it, man, take it for what it is, man. People, you can tell when people are being disingenuous and blowing smoke up your ass or trying to, suck up to you and blah, blah, blah. You can tell a genuine comment from, somebody just this and that. I know I don't leave you guys a lot of great comments on your channel when you guys do post a video. All Jeff says is, see you Fridays.
Yeah.
That should be enough. Not to say that I shouldn't have to sit there and blow smoke up your ass and say, hey, man, you did it. Wow. the me wanting to play the song on my show is enough. I think that's enough for me to say, hey, Ian.
Oh yeah, for sure,
man. I'm gonna put it.
Yeah, no, that's true. I think if you can, in a comment, it's different. I put quite a lot into comments, and you could see that as being sort of blowing smoke up people's asses. But actually, usually I'm trying to make them laugh.
I mean, that's what I said. You can see who's
them.
being genuine and who's not.
And if it's a genuine attempt to engage, or a genuine attempt to support and encourage, or a genuine attempt, that's all that really matters.
It's pretty easy to tell.
Yeah. Hopefully it is. But
if they're not, they'll say it. You suck, or something to that effect.
Yeah, and if you do any music at all, everyone's a critic. You are.
It's just going to be a critic, but they're so rare.
Sticking your head above the parapet, no matter what you do. So you better.
I got somebody telling me that one of my videos was fake me, right? I was not playing.
You know what? People say
you have to go out of your way.
You know what? So I look at it. It's like with Francis and I were talking about it. Excuse me, guys. With miming.
Yeah, of course we're not playing live.
I wasn't miming. I felt a little bit of pride that I got trolled that day.
Petriani mimes it too.
Somebody went out of their way.
I mean, there are times when I don't mime it. There are times, yes, there are times when you do a live take, but you normally make a big deal about that in the comment because you want people to realize that, hey, look, I am actually doing this.
Yeah.
But the rest of the time, I'm doing a guitar solo in my pajamas with, with sleep drool all over one side of my face because I've just got up. I am not going to film myself doing that.
No.
Yeah.
Although it probably would make quite a funny video, but
it might even make a lot of views on that. Yeah,
very authentic, perhaps. Yeah, the absolute truth of it wouldn't. It's like, sorry, but no, I have too much ego. I don't have much ego, but I have too much for that.
at least a little pride.
Most of the time, I can mime it well enough because my older songs, I know them inside out, so I'm able to get it dead on. But some of the newer stuff, no. Like when I did the song "The Dano Duel" with Andy, I just ripped it, and it was just like a one take thing, and I would have had to sit down for an hour or two just to figure out what I had done just to get it to mime right. So that's why I had camera angles coming from the bottom, coming from the top. You didn't really see my hand because I couldn't remember what the hell I played, man. So it's like
you want to see what your hand was playing.
Exactly.
Well, that's true. I mean, there are things like when I did Laurie's guitar challenge, I did that as a live take because I knew that if whatever I did as a jam, I'd never be able to get anywhere close to it. Miming it back. It's like, no, this is not a situation where I'm sitting down and learning this thing for a week or so I can get the double track absolutely spot on. This is something that needs to be out tomorrow. So, of course I'm going to sit down and do it live then. But most of the rest of the time, I'm too busy wearing wigs,
Yeah, that's right. You're right. Actually, the only ones that I've done live were the challenges. I've done about 3. I did like Jimmy's challenge. I did it live. When I did the Rock and Hippie challenge, I did that live. There's about 3 songs I did live because I knew that I wouldn't be able to get it at all. So I said, you know what, I'm doing the challenge live, and that's it. So
yeah,
I did the same thing on Laurie's channel. On Laurie's guitar challenge, only I did it live about 80,000 times.
Okay.
That was just happened to be one take that I got out of that, but I shot video of every one of them and dedicated to do it, to get that live moment.
I have a general rule that is 3 times. If I fail 3 times, I start again.
Start over,
start over again. Because if I haven't begun to get it, and it's like, okay, sometimes I'll do 4. If I know I'm getting there,
one, 2 little.
But there's a rule, do 3. So I did that on the latest one. I did 3, and then because because my tremors were back up, I ended up pressing a few buttons wrong, and I know for sure that the video isn't the same one that went with the audio.
Right.
And I just looked at it and thought, okay, I'm really not going to do this all over again. I'll just leave it. If anybody notices it, it's like, seriously, what do you expect?
Blame it on YouTube.
You're not paying me. Yeah, exactly. It's a glitch in the video where where I look like I'm wringing the guitar's neck and nothing's actually happening. So.
I mean, it's when you're making videos like that and you're doing a lot of different scene changes, you're either trying to cover something up that you can't figure out, or
you're producing a video.
Producing
a video.
Or because of that, people automatically expect that things are going to be off a little bit because you're doing multiple takes on a scene. It's not so much that you are trying to cover something up. You can be doing that, but because it's difficult to get the nobody ever just wants to sit there and just like mime a song. Everybody wants to see a flow in the video and stuff, and not all the time. For people to expect that the audio and everything else is going to sync up every damn time to a song, it's kind of ridiculous to think that.
Yeah, but it's definitely possible, and it's a great way to do it, to capture that moment that you captured in the recording studio. And then, whenever I'm shooting video for any of the stuff that I've done, I'm plugged into an amp sim, and I'm hearing my guitar playing along with the guitar solo that I composed for that song. So you know,
Yeah,
I could.
I'm actually singing it. I'm really
Right.
singing it when I'm miming
Right.
it. You know, and there have been times when I've just taped myself singing, and there have been in fact, that's not all that uncommon. It's a lot less common for me to record myself when I'm playing guitar. And, you know, and the other thing is it's such a pain in the neck doing it, you know, so, you know, having to set up the camera and when you're in the flow of trying to write something, it kind of interferes. But ideally, wouldn't it be great if we all looked like supermodels all the time and we could have the camera on 24/7 and it just captured everything and then an editor put it together and made it into a nice 3-minute piece that everybody wanted to watch.
You know? Oh, wouldn't that be great? Miracles again.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe in heaven it'll be like that. But I'm pretty sure that YouTube won't exist there. So, you know.
No.
Something that I use when I'm composing music that could potentially turn into a song or maybe that would have lyrics is I do a lot of videos of guitar repairs that I do, and there are often sections of those videos that I like to put music on and fast forward the video, like doing a string change or something that nobody wants to sit there pulling screws out of an amplifier. You know, you fast forward over that. So I will sit here at home right where you see me right now with my guitar, and I'll compose a little piece of music to be used in spaces. And usually they're 2 or 3 minutes long, and I'll throw a drum beat on and I'll just start banging out chords. And it's amazing how often that turns into a song that ends up being turned into a video. So I you know, in the composition side of things, you know, I found that to be a really great way for me. And I realize that I don't put out a lot of music, and I'm very critical of what I put out there. I'm not even close to what Francis has put out, or Ian, Mark Tanner.
I got nothing.
Certainly not Dwight. I mean, Dwight's got, I don't know how many songs he's got. He's like smoking. But, you know, a lot of that stuff does turn into songs like I Can See It All From Here. That was originally planned to be a backing track for a video of working on a guitar.
Yeah.
And
bye, Jimmy. Hi, Snowball.
Oh, good night. So, you know, with compositions, sometimes I think to get a creative flow going, if you look at your musical production as something different, to get that ball rolling, you know, this doesn't have much to do with shooting video or syncing all that stuff up, but nonetheless, it's a good idea, I think, to.
It's odd because to write a song, I have to get into the emotional headspace of whatever it is that I'm planning to write about. Sometimes I know what that is, and sometimes I don't. You know, sometimes, frankly, I just blurt it out. But you put yourself into that emotional space, and however you do that, I read loads. I read all the time. I watch news all the time from various sources. I watch things. I talk to people, or used to talk to people a lot more than I do now, obviously. But I'll converse. I'll have conversations in chats now. I'll have conversations in comments now. It's because you want to receive a picture of the world that will give you that inspiration, put you in that headspace. And then you just translate that into an emotion through music and through words, which is, the words make it easy to clarify what you're talking about, but the music should also convey the same message. So it's like method acting, where you have to get into the head of the person. That's how I can't do it any other way than that. I have to get into that. And to do the video at the same time, video headspace is a different headspace. So I find that really hard to do those at the same time.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jeff.
No, I was just going to say, when I came back to YouTube and I decided to do it, I was like, I'm never going to edit a video, man. Everything I do is going to be one shot, one take. This is like, or live. That's it, man. I'm not going to edit.
Yeah, I don't like editing video. Yeah, I wanted everything to go straight.
Doing that.
See, I don't have the I have the patience for it. I have the creativity for it, but I just don't like being it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I appreciate doing it. I don't have the time or the patience.
I think it's just me. I don't have the time. I'm just constantly running around.
Yeah.
You married, man. Damn. I feel sorry for you.
Cop
guys
showed
with
up, right?
girlfriends and women. Jeff, you're
showed
a
up
perfect
because of a
candidate
kid.
for being the
Yeah, I have to run off.
single dudes. Yeah.
I tell you, the honest thing is, my wife used to be a video editor. She worked for the BBC. She has been in a video editor, and
Oh
you know,
yeah,
so it's if I were really
she's not going to
focused
come
on
home
this-
and work your videos though.
No, exactly. If I was really focused on this, I've got all the
It'll help,
resources
yeah.
in terms of people to do it, but the process of having to think up ideas, new stories, it's like, you know what? Stick a picture of the blue sky and I'll do a green screen and I'll just strum along. And it's like, I know it's a real cop out when I'm doing it, which is why I do things with the wig, I'll wear the wigs for a joke, why I'll put weird hats on, why I'll do, because I'm aware that it's really passe and that the video is the weakest part of the entire package because I'm not really set up to do it.
Sort of. You are dynamic, and it makes the video
Yeah.
win, right? Your costume, the singing.
Yeah,
really works.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that you put into, instead you say, well, what works, and what works is presenting a character.
Yeah.
And the character has to represent the song, has to
Yeah.
serve the song, like an actor. So it's kind of not me.
Well, then
on
again, too,
video.
man, minimalism is okay too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can convey a song and with minimal imagery and get the point across. Sometimes it's even more poignant than a long, drawn out scape of a storytelling session, man, in a video.
Yeah, because you're just listening. Listening.
All music gets to
Bad.
a point, and it's making a point. And if you get that point across minimalistically in a video, and you like, I know exactly what he's saying. I know what the song's about because I understand what the visuals.
Yeah. Videos are technically fairly new by modern standards.
Right.
You think about it though. I mean, what if I mention Sinead O'Connor? If I just say her name, the first thing you're going to think about is Nothing Compares to You, of that simple video of her crying, which is one of the most profoundly beautiful music videos ever made. And all it is a picture of her singing a song and crying, and it's stunning. So yeah, minimalism, but you can't do that all the time.
No.
Yeah.
No, because she had some pretty radical videos also during that era. I remember. I was madly in love with that woman, man. I was like, every video.
Yeah.
She's hot,
Yeah,
she went shaved head and the whole 9 yards. It's like,
tearing up the Pope's picture. That was
right.
epic.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Was that Saturday Night Live? She did that.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Indeed.
Well, the story behind her haircut
not
is
coming back to Saturday Night Live anytime soon.
I do. I don't remember it though. I did hear it. I don't remember it though.
The bizarre thing is, I heard the story that the reason she shaved her hair off was because she got her record company that she'd signed to had all these sketches of her done up like Madonna, and like those, and so she just looked at them and she just went into the bathroom and shaved all her hair.
Yeah.
Off. And that was the, and it's like when I heard that story, I was a teenager when I heard that story. I think I kind of fell in love with her at that point. That was the perfect woman for me. She was hot and she could stick her middle finger up at the time. It was like, that's what
her and Tom Petty would have been a great couple, I think. Mark Tanner, man.
Mark.
I mean, minimalist, for sure.
His image. That's it.
But your logo is killer.
Yeah.
Hugh, I heard some really cool stuff from you. I don't even know if you're aware that I've heard that yet. I don't think anybody else has heard it. Well, yeah, maybe Ian heard it, but I heard some really cool guitar playing from you, man. My compliments.
Mm-hmm.
That was really neat.
He's
great.
He's a long way, but he's made a lot of strides to make an effort at making music since he first got shown on the show. Not that the show, I'm not going to credit for his guitar playing, but he's one song in 9 years, and then he comes on the show, and now he's up to probably 15, 20 songs maybe. All in the space of a year. So if you do that for 9 years, he's ahead of the curve, man. So he's got 15, 20 songs over there now, and they're all great songs, man. So, yeah, you call well, you rock, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, he did some really cool stuff on a recent collaboration that I was working with, and I don't know if anybody will ever hear it or see it or anything, but I thought it turned out really nicely.
Well, dude, you kind of opened the Pandora's box. Now you kind of got to do it.
No, not really. If it's not good enough, don't
you
put it
can't
out
sit
there.
here and blah 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 blah. You can't give the man all these kudos and then take it away from him, man.
Why don't you take a leaf out of the house band's book, throw it at somebody else to have a listen to, because their ears aren't jaded by it.
No, man.
You know what I loved about the last mix that I heard was the bass line, and it was so fucking killer. That's an inside joke, by the way.
Yeah, right. It's what you mean, the one that kept getting thrown in the waste paper basket. Everybody seemed to lose that.
It was just way too loud, man.
Had something to do with that mix, I'm guessing.
Can't say a word. Just can't know, because confidentiality clauses in contracts and stuff like that.
Right. The gag order.
Yeah, I got carte blanche, man. If you let me share your music once, I got carte blanche. I have to know everything.
You don't want to know everything.
No,
I didn't even know I had a house band, man. What are you guys talking about? What?
Hey, look, we got together and we said, do we need to tell Hippie about this? Do we need his permission? No, what the hell, we'll do it anyway. So, it's fait accompli. He's got a house band, get used to it.
When you came up with that line, Hippie, did you know you had a house band, Hippie?
I love that line.
What? That was awesome, man.
Yeah.
Guys, what I can recommend is if you don't have a cloud lifter, get one. If you need one, get one. But
if you're using a dynamic mic in most doors, it works.
Marshall, I think it would do your mic awesomeness, man. So you won't have to push it so damn hard. And when you do, I can tell you're pushing your mic with your gain. I can tell you're pushing it.
Yeah.
So if you get a cloud lifter, man, I think I would recommend it. From what me and Ian experienced today with it, I think it'd be something.
It would create you'd get a more it feels like you get much more control over it. And what you find, Marshall, is when you're singing, because your mic technique is based on the mic as it is, that you'll be way too close to it at that point.
Yeah.
So it gives you a lot more dynamic range in terms of how you use your mic technique. So if you're used to using your mic vocally, singing wise, and you're getting the sound you like out of it, it may not make that much difference.
Yeah.
But for broadcasting and things like that, it will make a profound difference. So it depends how you use the microphone.
Yeah. That was after I had heard about that, and Tim had mentioned using that, and that guy is putting out some world-class productions.
And listen to his vocal range, the dynamic range that you're hearing frequency-wise, and in terms of his control over where his mouth's relationship to the microphone. His mic technique is pretty damn good. So
right up pro, man.
Tim. Texas Jack.
Texas Jackdaw.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
But he's using an SM7. He's using the same. I'm guessing he's using the exact same mic that Jeff's talking into right now.
I think so. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
I don't know if he's got one of the old ones or not, but that there's virtually no difference.
Yeah.
His preamp mixing console is really, really good, though. He's a professional recording artist, so he's gonna have all the bells and whistles.
Yeah.
I hope he gets better, though. His ear's in trouble. Right, get that cleared out today. I think.
Yeah, hopefully.
What do you? Electro Omega just said that he got a 2i2 yesterday. How are you feeling about that? I wonder if you're digging it or not. I think a lot of the guys on here are using Focusrite or Scarlett products because they're affordable.
Well, the good thing about the Focusrite, even the 2i2, I think it has a very good sample rate compared with other interfaces, doesn't it? So I know the 4i4 is actually at the top of the list, isn't it? It's like it's got 190, or it's like twice
92.
as much as mine's got. So,
Yeah.
I think it said at 192. Something
yeah,
like
192. So yeah, I mean, I think mine's about 95 or 96 or something like that. It's like, and that makes a big difference when it comes to quality of sound. So, you know, there is quite a difference. Once you go above a certain number, you don't hear much of it. But between those figures, there's quite a big difference.
Yeah, the 2i2 and the 4i4, it's just the same thing. Just mine has maybe one or two whistles more than what yours has.
Yeah, you got fewer inputs and outputs ultimately.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all it is.
But they're good units.
Yeah. Oh, you're going with 4i4 Falco. That's cool. Oh, dude, by the way, I'm going to put up a video here coming up of a setup on a Floyd Rose, so you might want to check that one here in a few days. I got it really cool. So you were asking about that.
Looking at each other, that would be weird.
Hey, Ian, what's up?
Wrong side. Yeah.
Everything's backwards on this.
I know.
Yeah.
Hey, Ian, what's up?
Oh,
I'm talking to my Les Paul.
I know.
Wow.
That's it is. It's completely backwards.
Hey, give us a idea.
No, I mean, to be honest with you, when it comes to interfaces, although they all do the same, they all do basically the same job. There are certain standards that kind of you do notice. And the only thing that will improve your quality ultimately is for you to keep doing it, regardless of what you've got. You know, I mean, my system's fairly basic, and it doesn't produce unlistenable sound. It doesn't produce studio quality sound, and I'm quite aware of that. But I'm a songwriter, so this is, you know, these are my songs, and they're quite listenable. You know, that you can hear them. So to move up to the next level, to get to that next level, requires, from my perspective, so much investment in terms of finance, which is the one form of investment that I don't have. I've got time, but I don't have that. So, you know, it comes to a point where you have to know what you want and then how you can do it. And what you've got now connected up is pretty high level. It's going to be resistant to time fairly well. You'll get a good long use out of those things. So the next step would be the software to help you manage the broadcasts, the shows, and all the things that you want to do. So
these are things you're making. These are investments, man. I expect this stuff to last a long time. Never have to worry about it again.
It will.
It's an investment, just like a good PC is an investment, because you know if you do this, or you're going to do this, or you're going to do that. I bought mine or built mine as a gamer PC, put it together as a gamer PC, but it does everything else I needed to do also. But that was an investment, and for that. But this is the same thing. This is an investment in my whatever I'm doing here on YouTube and whatever I'm going to do musically later on down the road too, man. So it's just an investment. But again, like I say, I couldn't have done it without half the help of the community, because man, guys, people that donated and helped me helped out the channel and stuff. It definitely went back into the channel. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. It's sitting right here for you guys to look at, and this is all primarily because of the community's grassroots effort to let this show continue, so that you guys can continue showboating and stuff.
All right.
So you guys keep doing that stuff. Yeah, man. So but I could have bought less expensive stuff and not gone as high as I went. I could have got by with other stuff. I could have spent less money and stuff, but that's not what I wanted to do with the stuff. I wanted to get the best stuff I could to come across the best way I could for you guys, and make sure you guys get heard and seen in the best light possible. So, man.
Yeah. So right now, Jeff, it sounds like you're pretty happy with the gear that you've got rolling. It seems like it.
Yeah, I don't think I need anything more than what I got. I think I maxed out everything that I need for the space and what I'm doing with what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
If I need something more down the line, I'll take a look at it. That will be another investment, like the knurls and the other things, and maybe whatever else I need. Any other gizmo or gadget that I need to bring things across better. That's down the road. But this is the jumping off stepping stone to better a lot of things. You know what I mean? So it's just
Alex.
This is just a
right.
This is just the start. This is just the start of better things for everything, man. So, but yeah, the 4i4 seems to be working. It's doing what it says it's supposed to do. The monitors I haven't had a chance to crank them or set them up correctly yet, but that's post haste. I'm going to get on that. The microphone is way more than I expected it to be. The boom arm is holding up so far, and I mean, even this is like Mac Daddy of the boom arms, I guess, for this type of setup and stuff. So I spared no expense trying to bring something a little bit better sounding and stuff. This mug's never going to change unless I get some plastic or whatnot.
You're gonna have to talk to Nikki about that.
That's the cool thing about this mic is that you can get behind it and nobody has to see your ugly mug. So it's pretty awesome. You know, exactly. Hi. Right. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, you can get buried behind it pretty quick, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's cool is I have it on a table, so I can move my table around.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's like a steel top. It's a steel table. The foundation, then it has like a 2-foot long piece of glass and by about 16-inch piece of glass that sits inside it. So and then I have the boom arm is mounted down here. I have 2 sticks of wood, I have two sticks of wood in there to level it out because the woods are just the wedges. You know what I mean? The wood wedges. So I slid them together so it made it level so that I can screw it to the glass without the glass cracking.
That's right, Sith.
Yeah.
But I also have the round mount that you can screw down into a table or something like that, or the round holder, so that I can get this off and make the mic completely stationary. Of course, I can always put the clamp anywhere I want and move the mic. You know what I mean? But I can make it stationary on a table because it has the little mount where you can put the stem down in, and then it just whoop 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 sits in one spot on a table, or I can put the clamp anywhere else on a desk or in the room anywhere, and be able to move the mic to a different position if I want to. And it has almost a 4-foot stretch range, man. This thing is huge.
Yeah. That stand looks really stout. When you pulled that thing out of the box the other day, man, I was like, holy shit, that's serious. You know, that's what you'd find in Sunset Sound or something like that for their boom mics over there. This big, massive metal, that's serious.
I'm overkill, man. I always go overkill.
I'm using my little boom mic here, Stan, and I have to point the foot towards the microphone, or this thing would just tip right over.
Yeah, I have that problem.
I had this one here as well. So I had another stand, a boom stand. I just kept tripping over it, so I had to take it down.
Yeah. Nice.
Sorry. Yeah, that's typically
perfect.
What's that one?
You got a green screen going on there?
Yeah, I got
Have a look at Francis's curtains.
I was cutting and pasting little squares of Ian. That's what I was doing the last 5 minutes. I was cutting and pasting a little square from Ian's picture that I took, and I just like made a whole background.
Sneaky.
Woo!
See, now Tina can't complain that she doesn't have the curtain.
She has the curtain, yeah.
She has the
Although
curtain.
if she looks at it here, it looks green though.
Here, take a screenshot. It's Francis. Ian, duck down, man. Let him get a good screenshot.
It's okay. It looks all right. Why?
There you go.
Why?
Okay, hold on. Let me get a screenshot here. Hold on.
Hey, Red Eye, thanks for being here, man. Dude, your music. I don't know if you're a dude or
got it,
no,
Ian.
but
Yeah, he's a dude. Tiny, what's up? Tiny
Yeah, that's
Dragon's in the house. What's
Crimson. That Red Eye Bloom's band name.
Hey, Tiny. Later, Tiny.
Crimson something or other. I'm so
up?
bad.
Boys
at
and their
remembering
toys, yeah. Oh, look who's talking. Boys and their toys, man. She's out there like
Right?
hauling around on a
Riding her motorcycle.
names.
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
she's got
laying
more
days
basses
to
than I have
on.
guitars, man.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Talking smack over there.
Yeah, I've only got one bass. That's all I've got.
I got no bases.
Me too.
Yeah, I got one.
Now he's got the hippie back there.
Oh yeah.
Hi, Tiny. Hi, Mo.
You know what I want to get? I want to get Gary Hubb's background when he's in that parking lot. I saw Jade Starr with it yesterday when she was
Jade
chatting
Starr.
with you.
See, I recognize
Yeah.
that parking lot.
I'm like, shit, she's at Gary Hubb's parking lot, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Since there's,
true.
Smuggling.
yeah, with respect to Pro Tools, I did use Pro Tools for a long time, and I purchased it. But
Rush up.
when I found Reaper, that was all it took. It's not free, but it is free ultimately. And in my
What's it
honest
cost to
opinion,
actually purchase it?
what's that?
What's it actually cost to purchase Reaper? instead of
$60
using
to own to not get the little pop up.
Yeah, 60 US. That's right. It's
60
not
US
bad, man.
Yeah. Now, is it well worth $60 or more?
Oh, I'd pay more than that, man. It's worth $60. It's worth every
60.
penny.
Well,
The full commercial
said,
license is
Pro Tools,
$225, and that's still cheaper than most of the top end software.
I mean, Marshall's saying
dude.
Pro Tools he doesn't use anymore. He uses Reaper.
No,
And it's
I
Pro
pay- I
Tools.
pay-
How much would Pro
It's
Tools set you back these
enormously
days?
expensive.
it was.
Oh,
I
Pro
think when I
Tools is
bought
a
it,
bloody fortune, man. But not
Yeah,
just that.
well-
Pro Tools is heavy as hell. It's going to slow your computer down so much.
Oh, dude.
Reaper weighs nothing.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a lot of bloatware, a lot of extra whistles, and
Yeah, Reaper with the VST plugins that it comes with, all by themselves,
yeah, they're great.
there's literally no use for buying a third-party plugin. The compressors are absolutely killer. The dynamic compression is killer. The EQs are killer. They're so simple to add and operate.
Yeah.
You double click, you have a new track, and it can be a MIDI track, a vocal track, a guitar track, an instrument. With the click of your mouse, it's where Pro Tools, you got to set up the track and route it and tell it where there's audio. Reaper is virtually identical to Pro Tools without all the added
Extra
steps
stuff,
to
yeah.
accomplish things, man. And the Waves bundles are really awesome effects, but I don't use them anymore. I've owned them all. I've used them in the past in many recording projects. I'm a fan of Reaper just because of the simplicity and that. And I won't knock Pro Tools. I mean, the greatest albums that have been recorded in the last 20 years were probably done on Pro Tools, I would guess.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm starting to discover the JS effects because I was using just the RIA effects, you know? But I'm starting to use the JS effects. The JS limiter, oh my God, man. It really makes the track pop, man, you know?
Every mix I do, that's on. Every mix you've ever heard that I put out, that master limiter is on all of them.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah,
amazing.
all it does is make stuff
Thanks,
louder.
Tiny.
It doesn't. it really almost doesn't change anything. It just
yes.
Boom. Oh man, it's killer.
And I always use the JS distortion. I'll do like sometimes if I have multiple vocal tracks, I'll put one track with the JS distortion just a little in there. It makes the vocal pop, or it's there's a lot of cool. It's got a lot of cool stuff, man. And some of the presets, like for people who don't know how to, like I'm not a great mixer or whatever, but you know, like I started playing more with the EQs and stuff. But if you're like recording a guitar track, Jeff, or a vocal or whatever, you got presets in there that work pretty well, to be honest with you. If you just click on the preset, not exactly knowing how to mix things, the presets that are there sound pretty damn good. So you don't really know.
I mean, to start
you're doing a vocal track, you could just pick like a modern vocal and it works fine, you know. And you're doing a guitar track. If you're using like a heavy distorted Marshall sound, well, then you use the one with the Marshall or the one with the Fender, and it EQs it according to what you're playing. And for the most part, it's pretty decent, you know. Like I mean, you really have to be picky to want to do more or really know what you're doing. But for somebody who doesn't know, just using the presets works really well.
Yeah, I'm not intelligent enough to know about that stuff yet to know what is good or what isn't good or what. I mean, I know what sounds good, but how to put it together and what it really needs and what it doesn't need. Does it need compression? Does it need this? Does it need that? Does it need this faded, that faded? I don't know any of that shit. So
all that has a learning curve, one step at a time.
Yeah. If I have anything that I put together, if it even remotely sounds like music, it's cool with me.
Good night, Squire.
See, on the track I did today, I was using the standard compressor, but I was using it to do sidechain compression so that I could duck I was ducking basically every time I was singing. I had Wes's guitar go down, so like I was ducking Hurricane Moon's guitar when I was singing, and it works so beautifully, man. It really does, man.
Paul, I have a friend like that when he comes back from work.
If that's a what? What'd you say, Jeff?
No, I said, but when you said ducking his guitar, does that mean that you were like boosting over his guitar or cutting his guitar out?
What happens is by using a sidechain compression, what it does is that it ducks Wes's guitar when my voice is there. So my voice is at this level. So depending the ratio that I pick, it'll drop Wes's guitar a certain level lower. So every time I'm singing, his guitar, because he's doing riffs through the song, so the guitar goes down a certain level, and then when I'm not singing, his guitar goes back up to the level that it's supposed to be at, you know.
Right back.
So that way you can hear my vocal clearly while I'm singing. So the guitar goes down just a little bit. Like I mean, you tweak it to whatever ratio you want, and then when I'm not singing, it goes up to the level of where the voice would be, I guess. So that it takes over that spot.
Do you bring it down and match the ratio, or you
pick a ratio and it does it automatically.
Yeah, you pick a ratio and then you adjust the level.
About a 2 decibel drop in volume or even less in some cases. And it
barely noticeable.
No, almost total. Yeah, unnoticeable. I mean,
but those little tweaks actually make all the difference in a mix.
Yeah. Like
I mean, tiny little tweaks can make quite a difference.
Where you would use something like that too is not just vocals with the lead guitar. You would use it. Let's say you would do the bass drum with the bass guitar, for example. If you want to hear that kick drum, you'll put a sidechain compression on the bass so that anytime the kick goes, the bass drops just a little bit, you know. So that way, and what it does too is it adds movement to your mix. So you have like a flowing song. You don't just have like that, like a monotone. It flows the song, you know, it moves.
And you don't overpower when you use a frequency that's lower, so you don't end up just booming it out if you use that sort of technique, because you're not doubling up those low frequencies because you're dropping one slightly out. Yeah. So, you know, they can make a big difference to the flow of.
But that's something you get to later. I'm just getting to this now. Like I was just fooling around with this now, you know.
But for starting out, like Francis said, use the presets. You'll be fine. You know, you don't even need to know what it's for. Do you need a compressor on a guitar? The answer is yes. Most of the time you do, but you don't record it with the compressor on. You don't play it with you put the compressor on after you've done it. Then you can click it off and say, does that sound better? Does it sound worse? Is it sounding, you know, is it sitting well with the other things? Does it help it do that? You know, compression will do that because it sort of limits down.
So what's compression really do? Does it like takes the edge off the top end or what?
Yeah, what you do is you choose you choose a ratio. that you
Meaning
again
what?
that you
Meaning what?
well, a
You
ratio of
understand-
2 to 1, for instance, would be, for instance, that if the sound goes above a certain decibel level, that it will drop by the ratio that you've selected. It'll drop the volume down, so it'll keep it within a certain frame, and it won't let it peak too much. And you, by changing the ratio and changing the threshold, you change whether it sounds louder or quieter, and just how much it affects the sound and in which frequencies it affects it. And you just play with those, and you learn quite early on that low. So that when you have a small ratio, it makes it sound. The whole sound is bigger at the lower end. It's sort of fuller in bass response, and as you get more and more, it tends to peak to more trebly sounds. So you find the sweet spot effectively for it.
And like Mark Tanner saying too, it not only is it gonna bring down the spots that are too high, but if you're it'll boost sounds. Like for example, let's say you're strumming your guitar, but you're not strumming evenly. Okay, let's say you're strumming one note and it's louder, and you're strumming another note and it's lower. You didn't pick it like all the way down at the same volume. Let's say with the same dynamic. Well, a compressor, what it's gonna do is it'll bring it up to the same level, basically. You know.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I have a basic understanding of what it does, but I just want to.
But I mean, to be honest with you, for just putting songs together, you don't first of all start off needing to have compression. You probably want it on your guitars. You probably want it on a lot of things. Eventually, you'll come to know that which ones you'll come to play with it and find out. But to start off with, you just need to get the tone of the guitar more or less right. The way you hear it, like when you said this afternoon, that's closer to the tone I've been looking for. Well, if you could get that into your door, that's it. That's most of the way there.
But does that mean I always wanted a JCM 800?
Probably, yeah. Yeah, I'd have said, who doesn't want a JCM 800? Seriously, though.
Put the wrong amp, man. I don't know.
No, I think you got pretty close with the orange.
An amp sim like that, obviously there's so many options available to you, but you'll find you'll use 4 of them maybe. I mean, like when you're with high gain stuff, especially, and you can mess with them, but the idea is I generally don't use much more than 5 or 6 different amp tones.
But you do you find you buy amp a lot with it? Do you use? Yeah, I mean that's the other thing. Is one thing you could easily try and do, and it will blow your mind when you try and do this, because it is quite an effective tone generator. Is you put the Marshall on one amp, and then you have 2 amps. So you then choose a Fender for your second amp, and you make the Marshall give you all the crunch and all the high gain, and you get the Fender to give you the clarity, and then you blend them. And you end up with an entirely new kind of sound. You start, and you can have pedals on each one, post effects on each one.
Yeah, you can have like a wet dry basically. You can do too, so that you can get like a clarity. Like, see, I was doing a wet dry with my setup of like 4 Vox amps, like speakers. I had 2 amps. One of them was like my dry sound, which had the overdrives going through it. And the other one was my wet sounds. I had my modulations and my reverb. So you can do that in those programs that you use. So you can have, let's say you have a Fender amp running with some chorus or maybe some reverb or whatever. And then you can have like your Marshall amp, like just driving with no reverb, nothing, just a straight sound. And then you balance it a certain way and you'll get it like a really nice tone, There's so much you can do.
Yeah. Amp sims they're fun.
Okay, now I have I'm hearing myself obviously through the speakers, but do you guys hear any wobbling or anything when you guys hear me? Can you hear my speakers boosting me now?
No,
it's actually
not
pretty
really.
good. I don't hear any looping. There's no looping.
Okay, but you don't hear a boost in my tone because it's coming through my speakers also. So
no, the microphone's not quite pointed in the right direction, and it's not really sensitive enough for that. It will pick it up because it picked up the guitar earlier. Wait for the feedback, guys.
Somebody speak loudly.
Boom, 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 boom.
1.
Hello.
Did any of that loop back to any?
Not
of you guys?
really.
No,
No.
man, that's pretty good.
Wow.
You got no feedback with that mic, man. That's pretty good, man.
I don't need these things.
Jeff, I've been doing that all night, talking into mine. I mean, my speaker's 18 inches away from this microphone.
Yeah.
I think it sounds pretty clear.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, that's the only reason I didn't do it, because I didn't want anything feeding back to you guys. But it's kind of weird hearing myself here and over here. So it's kind of
Yeah.
I got to get used to that, man. So, yeah. Instead of hearing
Hey,
everybody,
Gary Hubbs,
everything
how
you
you
hear,
doing,
I'm
Hi,
man?
hearing.
Gary.
Hey, Gary.
Gary, I need a picture of the parking lot where you play. I want to put that as my background.
Yeah.
Gonna start getting territorial about parking lots. That's not good.
That's
Okay, now here's another thing, right? I have desktop speakers,
Mhm.
and then when I shut down the show and leave my interface on, am I going to be able to watch Netflix and hear it through?
Yeah,
here?
yeah, absolutely.
But I
You-
have
if
to
you-
have this on. Now, if I turn this
Yeah.
off, will my desktop speakers automatically take over again, or am I going to have to set them?
I have
back?
no idea. I don't know
Okay.
about PCs in that respect.
Okay,
I have
one of
no
you guys
idea.
needs to take care of your blood sugar. I hear beeping.
Yeah, I need to go and sort something out. So that's probably Marshall as well. You beeping because I'm
we
beeping.
went off. If yours just went off, mine went
Yeah.
off at the exact same time.
Right. Yeah, I need to sort that one out.
Hello.
Nothing seriously, just 2.8. So Francis
Hubs.
can explain that to you. So
Hey, what is it? 3.8? That's low, man.
2.8.
2.8. Fuck. Go eat. Go get a bag
Yeah.
of sugar, man.
Dude, I'm at the exact same spot. I'm not kidding. So
You're at 2.8 too.
yeah, literally.
My
I had to do the
God.
math.
Okay,
I'll be back.
Go eat sugar. Gary Hubbs wants to charge me
Chocolate bar.
$5 for a picture, man. Come on, man.
He's not monetized, man. He's got to make a buck somewhere.
Metformin. Yeah, I'm on metformin too, Great Vanzini. But the other night when we were moderating your show, Jeff, I was like talking with Ian. We were in a private chat, and like my blood sugar went low. I started talking to Ian. I was slurring my words. I was like, bleh, bleh. I had to go have a snack, man. My blood sugar went down, man. I was like, I thought I was gonna pass out, man.
Yeah, that's what I told Ian, man. I said if he has ever got to take off, man, don't ever hang out. Don't ever feel like he's got to hang out just because, man.
Yeah.
You guys take care of yourself
That's
first, man.
I get the perfect picture right now of his whole background. Oh yeah. There we go. Yeah, I'm gonna make a nice background after what Ian's.
My mind just went totally in the gutter, man.
Hey, great.
I have no control. It's the rate set by the parking lot company. I have no control. Oh, okay, because he's got to pay $5 to get into the parking lot. So you got everything working now? You're happy with everything? Everything is up and running?
Compared to where I was with that Tascam, yeah, man. I'm not talking bad about Tascam. It just wasn't the piece of equipment for me, and it did not work with my system.
I'm glad you went with this, because I mean you have what you need now. The other one was way too complex, man.
Yeah.
And it wasn't what you needed for what you're doing, basically. You know.
Yeah.
So.
I bought that purely for the interface, but it just did not seem to want to work. And another thing is, I was telling Ian earlier too, man, that when I had my Tascam running, remember, I don't know, I said it at yesterday's show too, that my screen would black out for like a second. It hasn't done it yet. So I'm pretty cool there.
Yeah. You're probably all right.
Yeah.
Gary sent me the picture of the parking lot. Thanks, man.
Nice.
Omega, yeah, I use my PC to watch. My PC is my everything, man. It hardly ever gets shut off, to be honest. Anytime I shut off my PC is for an update or a screen lockup, or I leave the house, then I shut everything down. But if I'm here in the house, which is more often than not, I leave everything on. So, yeah.
I shut my computer off usually when I go to work.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I do that just because it's like if I'm home, I know what's going on with the weather and stuff. But if I'm out and we start getting thunderstorms or some weird stuff, I don't ever want my electronics to get zapped for no other reason. So I keep things turned off.
Yeah.
Just because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How are those speakers sounding? Are you digging that?
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I haven't. We changed the settings on them.
Hey,
and stuff,
Texas.
Right now they're
Tim.
they're set to 7 on the volume scale.
Hey, Tim.
We slid the Ian. What did we slide the decibels to on the speakers?
You kept the high filter at 0, and the other one was minus.
Thought it was plus
minus
4 dB.
Minus.
Was it plus?
No,
or minus?
you left it at the minus. No, minus.
No, Electro.
Minus
He
4
returned
dB
it.
or minus 3 dB on. I'll have to have a look and see what the settings were again, because I've actually made note of it.
Yeah, Dwight says he unplugs his stuff when he gets a thunderstorm, I'm thinking.
Really?
Yeah.
That interface can stay on forever.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't have any problem with that and stuff, but like I said, when weather starts getting bad, I usually
yeah, of course.
Heed the warning and knock them down.
Freaking awesome, man.
There you go.
I got Gary's parking lot.
Now you need 2 of you, dude. You need to get 2 of you in the picture.
I gotta grow my beard out, man.
Yeah, the settings CPU, you got the binary EQ was set to 0 inputs.
Your internet's cutting, Ian.
Plus,
yeah, you're cutting out, Ian.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Just
So
a
can you
stream.
hear me now?
I can hear you,
We
but
got
your picture's frozen.
Lousy connection again.
Yeah. Okay, now
Right.
you're moving again. Yeah.
It's getting better. Yeah.
Now,
Yeah, I'll
now
probably leave it on. I'll probably leave because
I don't know whether that-
oh, go ahead. No, I was saying my desktop speakers, they're plugged in and functioning anyway, so they're always powered on anyway, so I don't see any difference between. It might be a little more costly with, $1 more a month just to keep it plugged, keep the JBLs plugged in and the interface plugged in, so it's not a big worry to me to leave them on. Like I said, the only
Mine
thing
too,
I worry
Mark.
about, the only thing I worry about is the electric spikes and stuff. So.
Yeah. Well, if you
Yeah, I have a surge protector.
Yeah, I don't ever turn my studio monitors off. I told you that. I don't ever turn it off. When I power down my computer, I turn my audio interface off.
I don't even turn my computer off. I just go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just walk away.
Yeah.
We already do that. Yeah, and I use the same set of speakers to listen to everything through the computer, whether I'm watching a movie or whatever. It goes through the same set of speakers. To me, there's no point in having 2 sets. Especially since the set I've got, there's no way I'm going to blow them with the signal I'm putting out of this. No way.
I have 2.
Not going to happen.
I do have 2 sets. One set up as a left and right
much the same.
speaker PA And then my monitors are not recorded, so I can hear that, but pull them out of the mixer, so that I could hear it and it not be recorded.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
You don't need that. I mean, I've got these flat response monitors that are huge, and they're staged. You know, they're proper stage stuff, but they give a flat response. You can set them for it. So there's no need for me to have anything else to listen to music or listen to films. Because these things will blow my ears off if I let them. So what you need and what you want to use is more about your workflow than it is about what the actual items do. So those speakers should be able to faithfully represent the signal that they're being fed. And if you're feeding them a guitar signal from a decent sim, what they should give you is a faithful representation of what that's supposed to sound like. Once you start doing things like looking at the cabinets you're using and the mic placing, you start messing around with that, you'll hear the difference of what those different things sound like. And those speakers should give you that. They're responsive enough and to give you that sound. But what you won't get is a heavy load of bass the way you would on an old-fashioned hi-fi or something like that. You know, so they don't give you that. They're not intended for that. But they will give you loud. I mean, it sounded plenty loud early enough. You know, when that was just being picked up through a mic that wasn't actually pointed at them. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you heard it, but I don't know if you were hearing it then, but I put Ministry Breathe through here. The first song we played was the first song these monitors ever heard was Ministry. So
yeah, and when you pointed the microphone remotely towards it, it was loud. It sounded really loud in my head. You wouldn't want to broadcast it because it was a little, you know, the frequency was a little bit off because you weren't miking the speakers. You just got the speakers on, and it was like, this was the worst way to do it. But they sounded like they were bloody loud. So
they didn't sound too loud over here, but we didn't have them dialed in, and I was just I was listening here and there, so nothing was once I go off air tonight and I get a chance to listen to some YouTube music, and while I'm building the show for you guys tonight for tomorrow afternoon,
test them out that way. That's a good way. Yeah, that's a good way of doing it, because you get a broad range of different styles as well, which will help. Because you know you'll find that I think you'll need to stick the volume on the back of the speakers a little bit higher. I think you're looking more at, on a clock face, you're looking more at 3 o'clock. I think it's actually numbered, so I think it's actually kind of like 8 or 9.
So here's another thing. You know, if I close this control panel to Focusrite, will my Focusrite shut off?
Your control panel should just be on anyway. They're always on. They're kind of part of the. So if you close down the control panel, meaning if you close down the window, it shouldn't make any difference at all.
Well, Epiphonium, that's quite the luck.
Yeah, what the heck?
If I close it down.
Sorry about your luck there, soldier.
If I close it down, will it tell me that my system's not connected? And if it does that, will I be able to use the system and watch Netflix, or am I going to have to?
I honestly don't know how it works with the PC.
Are you seeing this on your screen right now?
Mine's a little different.
Okay. Mine's on right now, and I'm going to shut it off while I'm talking into my microphone that's plugged into channel 2 on that Focusrite, and it still works. And it just, all that is you should just close that window. You don't have to have it open.
As long as the USB is in the computer, I really don't need that open. The only thing I need that open for is if I need to adjust something within the it's right while it's playing.
Yeah, it's just like any other control panel. So if you close down the window that the control panel's in or shut it down, it shouldn't make any difference to the settings you've just given it.
Yeah, as long as the interface is plugged into the USB, it'll pick up anything.
And then it's available to any program that can select it. So any program that allows you to select your sound card for input or output, it will recognize it because it's set to recognize. It's got the drivers, everything's in place. So when you looked at Amplitude earlier, you could find it. It was there. You could see it. You could see the drivers for it in the where we needed to set them. And the same thing is true of StreamYards. The same thing is true that you can find that interface to use as your sound card. It's just, like the control panel's on all the time, really. It's just there in the background. But the sound card is literally acting as your sound card, so it's on all the time. And you don't really need the sound card in your PC because it won't be as good anyway. So
it's not.
He closed the Scarlet interface. Electro. The PC app.
Yeah, no, that's cool, man.
Just want to say, I hope everything's all right, Epi. Sounds like you've had a heck of a time there.
Quite a day for Epiphonia, man.
What do you do, man?
Glad you woke up to that too.
A tree fell and hit electrical lines. I got the gas main or something.
Yeah.
And
of all the luck.
All the way up into his wall. It's a good thing he was up and he caught it there.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
See, if you weren't been watching the hippie show and you'd been asleep, it could have been really bad.
That's
I saved your life.
Now don't you forget it.
Yeah, that's right. I own you. Good stuff, man.
Okay.
Well, guys, we've been broadcasting for almost 3.5 hours. It is getting late on the East Coast. It is 12 o'clock at night. And I know these fine folks here, a lot of them live on the West Coast. So
it's midnight here.
Yeah. It's been a very informative discussion. I'm cool with everything I got, man. The Focusrite seems to be working fine. Anybody that has this type of microphone and is really pushing their interface to get this thing to function right, I'd recommend a Cloud Lifter, man. For now, well, right now, as of today, I don't have no idea if it's built like a tank and it's supposed to be built like a tank. It's almost bulletproof. It's a heavy little piece of gear. There's nothing you can really do to hurt it. I mean, I'm sure if you threw it up against the wall a couple times, you might break something.
Thanks, Dwight.
I think you break the wall. Yeah.
Yeah, put a nice dent in the wall for real. Because this little thing is pretty stout. It's heavy. It's solid steel cage, man.
Oh yeah, they make a good piece of gear.
And it's
not cheap.
From what I was hearing in the testing when we were going through it, it is a good preamp. It's a nice preamp, and that's what you want. It's a nice clear preamp with a lot of headroom to it, so you don't get any fizz. You don't get any, So I was quite impressed with it, to be honest with you.
What I paid for it was $149. So if you can find them on sale for less than $149, it's cool. Do I think it's worth it? Could I have lived with my Focusrite at 9? Me, probably not. But could I have dealt with it if I had to? Yeah, until I could afford a Cloud Lifter or until you can get a Cloud Lifter. Yeah, you could probably deal with it, but as soon as I plugged it in, when Ian was here, he heard the difference. I definitely heard the difference, and I have
I heard it.
I have far more boost in my Scarlet now that it's plugged in and being used. That I would definitely recommend a Cloud Lifter for 2i2, 4i4, or anything else that needs a boost. Especially for the SM57B or microphones like that, man. So yeah, man, you can get by with a minimalistic setup and stuff, but if you have an SM7B that requires a whole lot of gain to get it to come up off the floor, then I would definitely recommend the Cloud Lifter and stuff. You can put all the stuff up out of the way it is built like a tank, and if you step on it or kick it or knock it around on the floor, I don't think it's going to hurt it too much. You'll probably break the connection before you break the cloud lifter. So yeah, I mean, it's sitting here on the desk right now just as a showpiece to show you guys what it is and what it looks like, but it's going to get tucked away, put up out of the way and stuff, along with everything else. It's going to get set up and find its own little spots and stuff. But yeah, for everything that I've gotten over the past month and things that I've sent back and tried out, 2 things I bought were the NT1. The shock mount was broke and busted, so it went back, obviously, because that's $260 that should be perfect when it comes to you. You shouldn't have to deal with stuff like that. So yeah, of course, if you pay that kind of money for something and it doesn't come to you perfect, if you spend more than $100 and don't come to you perfect, send it back, get another one, or quit dealing with the company. But the NT1 is a good mic. Is it something that I could have dealt with? And I probably would have. I wanted this mic in the first place, but did I want to spend the money for it at the time? No. So I went with the cheaper option. I just happened to get a broken shock mount that caused me to say, well, you should have just got this one. So I went ahead and bought it. I sprung for it.
The Cosmos was telling you something.
Yeah. So
and Marshall, Tim's just said he uses a cloud lifter with his SM7, which we mentioned Marshall mentioned that earlier and said you get such resonance from it. You get such good frequency spread. It just sounds really professional, and you can tell, you can really hear it. With the difference between it, you're not just getting a boost in volume, you're getting a much more rounded envelope of frequencies as well.
And I have more of my voice that can come out on the top end too, right?
Yeah, that's right. And you can push it a little further.
Cracking up.
Yeah, and it's not peaking. I mean, you're struggling to get it to peak into the red with the voice, and that means you've got loads of headroom.
Right. I can. Yo, man, that did not even peak. It stayed green. It didn't even go yellow.
Yeah.
Yo, man, that went yellow.
Yeah, and you can just about hear the beginning of the breakup on that one.
Yeah,
just about. But on the other one, just sounded like somebody in a studio doing a shout. Having been recorded properly. So, you'll get used to also how the mic works and how far to come away from it. I think that.
Yeah, I hope you feel better soon there, Tim. Many prayers for you, buddy.
Yeah. Yes, Tim. Yeah.
Ear problems and stuff. Tim, I hope you feel better, bro, man.
Glad you got your internet back.
Tim, give me a song. Give me a song or two. Send them to my email for tomorrow afternoon. We're still doing the 907 Global Music Co-op show, so do me a favor and send me a song for that. Anybody that has an original song for tomorrow afternoon show, 4 p.m. Eastern, please send me a song in the comments of what was my last show? Tuesday's show. Yeah, go to Tuesday's show, the Community Hang show, and leave a comment there. Or just leave me a comment on any video that I have, and if I catch it up in the bell, I'll do my best to get it on the show. Must be all original and stuff like that. So, yeah, please send me all your original songs that you have that you want played on tomorrow afternoon show. And send them to me right away, man, because I'm going to be putting that show together as soon as we get off the air here. And then I'm going to go to bed and get up, and I'll see you guys bright and bushy-tailed early in the afternoon, 12 o'clock of my time, man. So, yeah. Preston, Gary Hubbs, thanks for showing up. Appreciate you being here, man.
That was set up. Marshall.
What'd he say? What'd he say, man? Are you going to let us in on the joke or what?
What's that?
Cool. What was he saying, man?
What was who saying?
Everybody's laughing. What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing because I texted that in I have a song for you, and I think that's what Ian was.
That's what I was laughing at.
And
That's what I was laughing
Preston
at,
too,
yeah.
because I put my comment there for you.
Okay. I got it.
Not laughing at you.
This song that I did, I've had writer's block for a long time, okay? Officially, the last full song that I ever wrote was in 2000. It's when I met Tina. It was in 2006, okay? And since then, I haven't written a full song. I've taken some of my old songs and tweaked some of the lyrics and some of the music. And I've worked music for like Hippie's House Band and other collabs that I've done, but not written a full song. The song that I just put up today, I wrote it in a matter of about 2 hours, and after that, I worked with Moon on it, and in a matter of another 3 hours later, I had it all recorded and done. So,
sweet.
That's awesome.
And so I'm hoping that my writer's block is done because I haven't been able to write a new song in a long time, man.
I've had art block. That sucks. So to get rid of an art block, I just go back to the basics. Yeah. I draw skulls, skeletons, basic stuff.
Yeah, I tend to do that with.
Sometimes it works.
I just chug through chords, anything cowboy chords, until I find a combination that just triggers something, and then you just find yourself flowing off into it. But yeah, I mean,
same way.
Yeah, everybody gets writer's block. I mean, God, I've did the same thing. I've written songs, but not anywhere near as many as I normally do, and that's because I've been doing collaborations, which I prefer doing. So all good. And then my daughter's birthday's coming up, so I've written a couple of songs for her, and they just seem to come out just the way they'd always do, which is I just think about her, and then just a song appears. I've always had no trouble writing songs for my kids and for my wife. Always just like all I have to do is think how the way they make me feel, and then the song happens. So writer's block's just a state of mind. You just like work through it. You sit down at your desk and you make sure you're inspired.
Take care, American soldier. Hope you get some sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's why I always leave a guitar pick usually where I can see it, and that lets me remind me that, hey, if you're trying to learn guitar, dude, pick up the pick and play.
Many.
So, yeah, I understand.
They're all here.
Yeah, I get guitar learner's block.
Yeah, a lot of that comes down to the feedback you get from the sound you're making. And you think about it, think how delighted you were when you heard a sound that was closer to the sound you wanted to hear, and that was almost instantaneous. So with a little bit of tweaking here and there, move those dials around a bit and see what happens. Chuck in a few things here, just play with it, and it becomes fun again. And then when you're playing, hearing the sound, and it makes you try things. It makes you play a certain way. Try a few different guitars through it. They'll all have different personalities. So.
If you guys, here's Sunday is going to be the anniversary show for the 1 year. What I'm going to do, I'm still not. It's not set in my mind. But what I'm thinking is, I'm just going to go back through all the shows that I've produced on the Hippie's House or the Musicians Montage show, and pick out songs, like basically my favorite songs from each person that did something, and try to come up with a list that way. Some older stuff that like say 40 Rounds. I'll pick one of their favorite songs. Ian, I might pick one of your favorite songs. Francis, Preston, everybody else, I might just pick a song that was on a show. So I'll pick one from. There's 52 shows to pick from. So I can go through each show and look and see different stuff and come up with a very eclectic mix of music for the show. But I don't know if I'm going to do all 52 songs. I don't know if I have the energy for that. But
hi, Mike.
Trying to figure out what I want to do with prizes and giveaways yet. So I don't know. You guys might want to meet up with me Saturday and see what I can do or come up with. And if you guys can help me out with some of that stuff, I'd appreciate it. So Saturday, if you have some free time.
This Saturday?
Yeah, if you have any.
I'll probably be free.
Yeah.
I'll see.
Well,
Yeah, I might.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
If it's later, then I'll be happy around.
Yeah, I don't take any family time away from anything, but yeah, I just want to figure out. I mean, I can just come up with stuff to give away and stuff like always, but yeah.
My youngest kid is 17, so yeah. He's making his own trouble for himself.
Is that Sam?
No,
No,
Sam's
you're
20. Sam's 20. So yeah. My youngest is still a minor.
Yeah, so it's mine for about another 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Oh,
yeah, she's 18. And
Get out!
Mine will be 18 in December.
No,
and then they're all adult.
Yeah. No, I'm thinking of nailing the door shut so she can't leave home.
Well, I think the boy just got himself in trouble today. That's why the cops were here. Figure that shit out. Mom ran off to be with him. Sam's in his room going,
I gotta hope that's okay for you, really.
Not me. Wasn't me.
Yep, he's over the age of criminal responsibility, so
yeah. No, they'll grow up. That's how they grow up, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to do the roll call and say goodnight to these fine folks? Is that a volunteer?
How I do it.
Yeah, I don't mind doing it.
I can only see a few names here. American Soldier, Electra Omega, who just left, Epiphonium, Gary Hubbs, Mark, Mike as himself, Texas Jackdaw. Who else do we have here? Sith, who just went to bed. Not many left here. Did I miss anybody? You guys are great. Thanks for showing up.
You missed the whole show, bro.
Paul,
20 people.
Call out, man. Yeah, I'm only showing when I pull up the participation list, participants.
Yeah, they're just the people who
commented
in the last 5 minutes or so. So there's also or whatever it is. Because I'm not on it.
You got Dwight Bailey, you got Electra Omega, Preston Smith, Sith Vasquez, Mark
Boom Bass Me, Great Vanzini, Dojo of Tone.
Boomer.
Mark Tanner.
Just showed up now, eh? Oh, he's been lurking the whole time, I bet. Great. There you are. Yeah.
And I hope you guys have a good night, man. We'll catch you tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern for the 907 Global Music Co-op. We're going to play all your original music tomorrow. So if you have something you want played, please just leave me a comment on any video. I'll be looking for them tonight because I'll be building the list as soon as I get done here. So if you have an original song you want played, please put it on a comment somewhere in any one of my most recent videos. I'll go up there and I'll look at my little bell up there to say I got some comments and stuff, and I'll read each comment. And if you have an original song, I'll get it on the 907 Global Music Co-op tomorrow. If not, I'm going to be digging through the archives of some of the awesome participants we have here on the show and picking stuff out of their archives. It's all original that I actually dig very much. Mm-hmm. This is my 1 year anniversary.
Goodbye. Yeah, we missed a couple of people. I forgot to say goodbye to Dale Palmer and Hugh Caldwell as well.
Dale Palmer and Hugh Caldwell. Good night, Dojo Tone. Yeah, man. Yeah, if you have
I don't want to be square. Yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah, you gotta be there. You gotta show up, man. So show up tomorrow. Listen to some original music, man. We'll try to get that out and try to show up Sunday for the 1 year anniversary of Hippies Musicians Montage, the Sunday sessions and stuff, man. You guys want to say goodnight?
Good night, everyone.
Good night, guys. Peace.
All stuff, man. Boom. Thanks for showing up, man.